I think we're live.
Oh no,
Are we
are we?
live?
Heck,
We
I
seem to
think
be.
maybe. Yeah,
Let's
I
try
think
this.
we're something. Ooh,
Okay,
look at that jacket. Can I get one of those jackets, please?
definitely. We'll find you one in your size.
I'm gonna hug myself.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good, bad. I'm the guy with the mic.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Hello, 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 my lovelies, and welcome back to another episode of Padded Cell. Tonight we have Pyle, Mariah, and Raz. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello.
Well, first, I just want to point out one of the people that's actually in that video that we show is actually on the show tonight. Welcome, Dr. Raz.
Hello.
We missed you. You were the light of our lives.
Yeah, the darkness in your life, maybe. No, I'm here. The storm is, it's pretty bad, but I'm here.
I know that feeling. I try to be here even when the storm is scaring me. Every now and then, the storm is like, nah, you're not allowed to have internet. That's what happened Monday.
Yeah, this is the worst storm we've had over here at the haunt since we lost power last season. So I don't know.
Alrighty.
So, are we still advertising Let's Scare Cancer?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah, always.
I was going to say, we're still scrolling. We've been scrolling for days.
We scrolled during the episode of Chainers, we scrolled during Bloody Binge, and we're scrolling during Padded Cell. So guys, help us help our haunters who have cancer get help they need. Please donate at letscarecancer.com. We are going to have it scrolling for I don't know how long because we believe in this, and having had family members go through cancer and what it takes to take care of them, I believe in this wholeheartedly.
Help us, help them, help people.
Yes, help us, help them, help people. And why am I the only one that has camera on? Okay.
Okay, because I am currently at work, so I can't have my camera on because it's part of the contract.
Hey,
We
that's
are up
fine.
to 2 people that are on the credit roll being in the show.
And to be fair, I don't even have a camera on when I'm at home. So
This is true.
I don't do pictures.
It's a wild Dell that I haven't seen or spoken to in a very, very long time. I miss you.
I miss you too. I had 2 con weekends in a row. Oh my god, I feel like I got hit by a truck.
Yeah, I haven't talked to you for way longer than 2
Yeah,
weeks,
I
man.
know. Well, we saw
Well,
each
like-
other on a to him, didn't we? I think, but we haven't really chatted. Yeah.
So like I haven't seen anybody in like 2.5 months. Hi guys.
Hi. It's not that we weren't thinking about you. I've been like posting about you in random places.
Yeah, and I'm not doing my cam anymore for a while because I'm having a medical issue that's got me pretty goddamn depressed. So I've just been kind of not doing cams for a bit now.
Okay. That is.
But can you do the can dance?
I can.
I cannot. So.
I could if I tried. But on the
can barely
times when my
walk.
camera decides it doesn't like me, I have made that.
I broke an old woman and threw her in the dumpster today. That was my day.
You broke
Okay.
an old woman and threw her in the dumpster?
To be fair, it was a statue that was beyond repair, but still, it was a statue of an old woman.
Did she live in a shoe? She had so many children she didn't know what to do?
No, she could have been a lot cooler then, because then I'd have had a new Han army.
Okay. You know, I had a question I wanted to ask the majority of you guys because, yeah, you guys believe in the same things I do.
11.
When I was a kid, I remember sitting with my mom and watching a movie, Ice Age. And I looked at when it came out, and it was like 2 or 3 years after she passed away. But I remember talking to her about Everybody Loves Raymond. Raymond being the woolly mammoth, and the characters sounded like other characters from movies or TV shows they had watched. And just had a good time watching the movie with my mom, and then as an adult, I realized I was watching the movie with my mom's spirit. Have you guys had any experiences like this?
I do not
That's a good
believe I
question.
have.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to go back and think.
Really vivid that. Yeah, no.
Like I don't think I have. Not me. That'd be cool.
I
That
think the
was
last
awesome.
time I watched Fight Club, I did. That was my brother's favorite movie, and I haven't been able to bring myself to watch it again since then because it wasn't just the movie itself or just the memories of watching the movie together and how much he loved it. There was just a lot of vibes going on, and it felt like it might have been him, but I wasn't sure. So I just haven't watched Fight Club since then.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't saying that to hurt anybody. It's just one of those random memories that popped in my head, and I'm like, wait a second, because they've come out with multiple sequels that
So many.
my daughter has had to have. So as they came out, they had like special edition Blu-rays at Hastings, and for her birthday or Christmas, we'd get them for her. And then we watched them over and over and over again.
Fun fact is that franchise was originally pitched as a companion series to Land Before Time from the 80s and 90s.
Oh.
You know, the Land Before
Oddly
Time.
enough,
Go ahead.
yeah, oddly enough, I'm not awake enough yet to realize that that wasn't what we were talking about. I forgot that Ice Age existed.
You're good. I'll never forget Land Before Time.
I've
'cause
never watched Land Before Time, though.
the little girl that did the voice of Ducky, one of the dinosaurs, was murdered by her parents or her father or something like that. It was a big case. It was insane. That's why I grew up watching that franchise as a small child. One of the first movies I ever saw in theaters, like one of the first few movies, was the first one. And I've seen every one, including the straight to video sequels they did that got popular in the 90s. But like, it'll always be the one where that little girl that voiced the dinosaur was murdered.
Oh
I
yeah.
did not know that.
Okay, but there's also something to be said. Okay, so the reason I remember Land Before Time from when I was a kid is because, I'm gonna be honest, that is the first movie that really makes you go, God, life's not fair.
Even though we knew how it was going to end, yeah.
Yeah, because like when Littlefoot's mom dies, like this set us up for Mufasa's death later
Yeah,
in the
because like
Lion King.
Bambi's mom death just happened
Yeah, I was
off
gonna
screen, and
say.
it was powerful, but like it wasn't that big a deal. But like Littlefoot's mom's death was way more impactful than Bambi's mom.
Yes, like
So that what you just said about Ducky kind of just made me think exactly about All Dogs Go Heaven, because
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds was the voice of Charlie, and the little girl actually got all of her lines done, and Burt was doing a different movie. He came back in and wanted to finish the last part of his lines, and the last part of the movie, that little girl was murdered by her father.
Yep.
And
Yep.
they knew about the murder and this and that, but they did not want to stop the making of that movie. So in the final goodbye by Charlie going to go to heaven and he's talking to the little girl that he calls Squeaker. It's really amazing. If you don't know, go back and watch that last part, because you can hear Burt Reynolds doing everything he can to hold his composure to get done with this, because he was so messed up by this person.
because that was like the day they found out. I think he went in to record that.
It was like that week. He had to get it recorded, and they just found out about it. And Bert said, "We're not going to stop this. We almost have it finished, and in her honor, we're going to do this." That's why she is not in the second one. And it was a very popular person to put in there.
It's the same girl, by the way. The same girl did the voice of Ducky and was in All Dogs Go to Heaven, and was the child that was in Jaws Revenge.
Oh.
Yeah, same girl.
That's kind of a round resume.
Well,
Yep, same girl though.
Might be the same
Guess
girl.
what, guys?
She got through
15 minutes in. 15 minutes in. We've already gone to the dark side. Hey, we're back.
She lost her mom. She lost her dog. She fought a shark.
And then she got murdered. That's a life right there.
Hey,
Or
April.
maybe not.
Early happy
Quit
birthday,
watching
April.
me from upstairs.
We were just talking about dinosaurs the other night. I was over on
And her name is Chip Nip.
watching Tyler Crook's Comic Cool Down, and he was doing a dinosaur, and there's a gal there who's awesome. Her name is Emma, and I can't remember her last name, but she draws dinosaurs for a living and does all these stickers, and the whole chat turned into like talking about everybody's favorite dinosaurs and stuff. And like he was painting a T-Rex, and it was looking really, really good, but he had like just the one claw reaching out, and his face was his mouth was slightly open. It was a profile, and they were like, that looks like he's just trying to get the bartender's attention for like ever. And so after he finished all the painting, he put in a little word balloon and was like, dude, I've been here for 20 minutes, and stuck a credit card in his hand. But we were talking about dinosaurs, and then it was like, man, it would be really like, we were talking about there need to be more dinosaur horror out there, and I was like, I have to write like an eldritch, like Cthulhu comes up from the ocean and is like attacked by megalodons and
Velociraptor.
Yeah, but just write something like that's totally set from a dinosaur standpoint, and just like with elder gods, too, and they're like, they don't know what to do because they don't have, because they're creatures, so it's going to be things like protect, save, run away, this is not good, smell, or whatever, and then like the elder gods are like, well, fuck, what are we going to do with these? They don't think like, but they're different than we are, so I don't know. I think it'd be fun.
They just stuff the Migos, so the Migos can think for them.
Like,
Did you say Velociraptor or Velocipastor?
Velocipastor. It's a movie.
Del started talking.
I thought you said that one.
Del started talking about this. I hear Raz, and the only thing I'm thinking about is that whole episode on the podcast we used to be on, where we talked about like dino porn for like 45 minutes. I'm like, is this a thing? And Raz had to prove to me it was.
Yeah, it was. And then we
Oh
invented
my
a fake
God.
book that Jason was gonna write called Horns in the Dark because we were fucking with Jason. It was about a woman falling in love with a triceratops.
Yep.
How was that
Oh
conversation?
God.
Yeah,
Okay.
we had Vicky and Felicia and who else do we have on?
Okay, it was Vicky, Felicia, me, you, Dark, and I honestly want to say that Kristen was there.
Yes, it was
and
Kristen.
I want to
So-
say Jazz too.
No, he wasn't on that one. He was on a different one that had just Kristen and Vicky.
That's right. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it was Kristen and Felicia and Vicky.
We were talking about the spirit, the ghost porn with Jazz.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this
That's when I made
sounds
that public service announcement for supernatural STDs. Like Spectretitis A and, all that stuff.
Yeah, I
this
remember.
sounds like the reason that Bad Dragon was invented, guys.
Yeah, we might have had a hand in that. We admit it.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting with the squirrel going, what?
My puppet berry's inside right now and I don't want to get him wet, so I'll pop him in here one of these times for sure.
I'm just saying, when somebody said you got to check out Bad Dragon just one time in your life just to see what they got, and then you guys are saying this stuff, and I'm like thinking, I feel like that set that entire lineup, and what did you people do?
You don't want to know. You just don't want to know. Oh, I got
Okay.
some news. I'm going to be
Yes,
able to do
you
shows
do.
and stuff more often because the house that we're moving into is getting finished up this week so we can move in.
Sweet.
Yay!
And I'm only 5 or so minutes from the haunt and everything, so it's kind of and the kids work and everything, so it's kind of a perfect situation. And I know the owner, so that's great. And I know one of the neighbors already, so
Nice.
Yay! Next week we get to
Woohoo!
find out what we're doing.
can we
Oh, by
update us
the
what we need
way,
to?
God damn it, Texas, you sent us all your dirt.
That was
Still
not
that
a
That was
it-
that was
that
weeks
was not
ago.
It-
No, it's still on the cars.
yeah, okay, so I went to Kansas City for Planet Comic Con KC 2 weekends ago. And or last whatever it is, anyway, like the 20th or something like that. And we're down there and the hotel, we paid for parking, but it's in a lot and it's in downtown, so people are just fucking using the lot, they don't. I'm sure there's some guy who maybe walks through and checks the plate numbers every now and then, but we
Yeah.
were 3 blocks from the con, so everybody was just using that parking thing. And it was 2 long rows and it didn't loop around. So you had to drive, and if you couldn't find one at the end, you had to back out onto a busy street and get to the other one and drive to the end of that and then back out again and just hope somebody would eventually come and move their car. And we're driving there and Mom gets she was going up, she saw somebody that was pulling out or whatever, and they backed up so they could go front ways. And they rolled down the window when they got to her, and she was like, okay, because she was going to take their spot. And they're like, are you from Lincoln? Are you from Nebraska? And Mom's like, yeah. And she's like, we are too. You know how I knew? And Mom's just like, how? Because we both have all this red goddamn mud all over our vehicles and everybody else's cars are clean. And she's just like, yes.
That's funny.
Our snow, it was that thick, in the snow would be just red dirt in huge drifts, and they were trying to scoot, and it was just a mess. But yeah, so Nebraska got all of Texas's dirt.
When we came back from Florida, we came back and this nice rain came in, hit the Jeep, and go, oh, it's gonna clean it off. And all it left was dirt and dust and weird shit because it was coming up from all the way here.
That
I don't know
yellow
how
stuff
Kansas is
is
crazy.
our pollen mixed in with the red dirt and the other yuck. Because it's just not happy down here.
We've been
And-
getting snow and weird shit here too.
Dude, last Monday it was so bad. Everything was down. We'd lose power intermittently. We had no internet. And I'm like, guys, I have no ability to come on.
We've had a couple people, or a couple.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear me because my phone suddenly fucked up. I'm gonna leave and come back.
Okay.
We have friends of the family that had I know they went at least 7 days without power. I don't know if they've gotten it back yet or not. And like Fremont was without power for like 3 days, which is a sizable town.
Yeah.
I want to show you this though. This is something I have con brain going on, and I was just laying down, and that's why I was a little late getting up here because I got up and I was like, oh my fucking knees. I have to walk to the computer. This is gonna take longer than I thought. But okay, so I'm going through. Hey, Jar Jar.
We love you, Jar Jar. We miss you.
Come hang out, Jar Jar. So I was just walking around and I see this lady and I'm like, well, fuck yeah. I gotta go see all these squirrels. And then she had a friend of Ratatosker's. She was Squirrel Girl. And I was like, Ratatosker didn't come with me though this weekend. So but I was like, I have a squirrel puppet that hangs out with me and he's my emotional support squirrel puppet. And like, he comes to all the shows, but I didn't bring him in this one because my mom is really upset with me for spending so much time talking to him on the way to Kansas City and back. And she'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm talking to Ratatosker. And she's like, he's made of cloth. I'm like, he has feelings. He's an alcoholic and you have to buy him his next bottle because it's going to get expensive if you keep insulting and hurting his feelings. But yeah, so sorry that you didn't get to see those pictures, did you? There you go. Look. See all these squirrels? Yes, and see she had a little friend for you. Yes. You guys could have hung out, but you didn't. So yeah.
Delphine, but I mentioned I love you with all my heart and soul.
I love you too. And Ratatosker does too. But I was just walking around and all these squirrels. And it's a tiny little booth. She just had like a couple of squirrels, but she was just there being Squirrel Girl with her little booth. And then there was a vendor right across from her that was selling more, and that's where she got the squirrel. He had all these puppets, and he was like talking to me, and he comes up and he's like, as I'm approaching the booth, he like grabs a rabbit and sticks his hand in the rabbit puppet and starts doing stuff. I'm like, I have a squirrel puppet. I know how to do that too. I do. Yeah, the hedge. I do that. I convince people it's alive. I stare and intimidate people with the squirrel. I do it. And he's just like, I like you. And so we like got to talking about puppets, and I was trying to buy puppet clothes, and he's like, no. But then like as I'd walk by and he'd be like, hey, come here, I thought of something. Try doll conventions. If you see craft conventions, go to people who make doll clothes. And I'd walk by again. Have you tried pet clothes? I'm like, yes, actually, I do have a couple of outfits for him, but I'm looking for like cosplay costumes. And he's like, you're gonna cosplay your squirrel? I'm like, yes, I am. And he's like, I'm on board with that.
They make cosplay onesies.
Well, but that would make it difficult to.
Oh, you don't have to like button it. I'm just saying they make cosplay onesies, and I had Dante dressed up as Vegeta.
I don't like this layout this way.
Okay.
I'm talking actually to Mahana, because she makes cosplay stuff, and we might see. I looked at there's pet stuff for Batman, but I'm not sure. It's like a cat outfit that would be a Batman outfit, and I want to see if that would fit. Otherwise, she might help me make props like a squirrel-sized Batarang or something. And I don't know how. Would you be Bat Squirrel? Would that be how it works then? Yeah.
I have literally no idea.
He would like to cosplay, since I'm going to cosplay. Oh, there's a pile. Yay!
Hi, Pile.
You went away.
I trust me. I noticed, and it went dark here. I must have put too much on one thing, and it went boop.
Yep.
This time the power didn't go and do that, but ever since that power did that the one time, it's tripped that a couple of times now. I might have to change it.
Yeah. Might definitely be too much on one thing.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
You want a shot?
It went all over his head.
Went down the back of my head.
I also intimidated people, or tried to intimidate people with him at Planet Comic-Con, because there was the one panel I went to was the horror comic panel, and Jeremy Hahn was there, and he was like, I'm not telling tales because people saw this. He had his his whiskey glass out early, like noon, and was like sipping away. And so like I started off with him in my lap because he was just keeping me calm through the thing, and then he finally started looking up and he started doing the stuff at the people that were presenting, and then like people would ask questions in the audience and he'd and and Cullen Bunn was there, and he's used to Ratatosker by now, but I mentioned to him like, yeah, I was kind of looking hard on Jeremy, and he's like, it was mentioned. I'm like, what was did I succeed in destroy? He's like, I don't think it was destroyed, but it's definitely mentioned that there was a squirrel that was present and looking at us.
So I went to a music festival, and when I went to this music festival, I had one of my urns. And when I had one of my urns, the people on the main stage, they were destroying stuff. And they kept on saying how they went to a everything must be out of this house sale. And one person was joking. He's like, I'm pretty sure grandma ended up in the funeral home or something. And I held up the urn, and the guy looked at me and goes, well, that's not something you see very often. And I unscrewed the top, and the hand popped out. He goes, hell, he's got grandma in there. I was like,
so
Nice.
Martha's on the cruise, and she's getting off at one of the ports, and she has one of the small, tiny little urns to keep Ben with her in her purse, because she didn't care if he's dead or not. He was going to come on the cruise with her, and she was going to go to different islands and check out things. And so they went through her bag to make sure she didn't have anything. The guy went through everything, and then he just threw Ben back in the bag, and she looked at him and said, you dropped him on his head.
that's funny.
Hinata took a tumble the other day. I was like grabbing for something, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry. I dropped my cat's ashes.
Have you guys ever heard of a singer performer called Clownvis?
I don't know.
Clown vest?
Clownvis. Like Clown Elvis?
No.
Okay. So that's who was like kind of what the heck, because there was. And I will see if I can get this picture sent. Because if I get this picture sent, go ahead and let me see this picture.
I'm waiting patiently.
I weigh a lot. No, I want to send it here. I don't want to send it there. Quit trying to tell me where to send it. Ooh, that's some big thunder right behind me.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I need my thunder buddy. I'm saying. We were watching Ted today, by the way. Chip Dip totally put that on today. And then she walked away from it.
Okay.
I'm just sitting here like,
there we go.
Deer in the headlights.
oh wow. You gotta.
That is legitly Now I can't remember who the other two are, but the one in the back, his name is Uncle something. I can't remember his name. You got Clownvis in the front, and then you got another guy that he does a podcast, and they were on the main stage just destroying stuff with a 400-pound, if not more, roll of duct tape, like ball of duct tape.
Wow.
And while they were destroying stuff, they found anything they could find to destroy. And when they were talking about where they got it from, they said it was like a liquidation sale, and someone had to probably go to the old folks' home or maybe the morgue. And that's when I held that up, and he's like, "Oh hell no, man! He's got him right there."
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's Clownvis. It's very interesting talking to him because he legitly will talk like the king.
Does
For
he
real?
honk his nose then?
What's that?
Does he then honk his nose? Like,
No, but he sings, and you can find him a lot of different places, and he sings. Like people tell him what to sing, and he'll start singing it, and it's like, okay, but he's absolutely entertainment thing. He's almost every year at this music festival, which I will be returning, and no one can tell me no.
I would not tell
Well,
you.
you have adult money and adult time. You are an adult.
Look what I got. Oh,
Uh,
I can't get it
hold
quite.
on.
It's my Cullen
Bun?
Bun. Yeah. My
Oh, wow.
fancy Cullen Bun whiskey glass. I gave him a tiki mug, and I gave him a Cthulhu tiki mug, and he gave me this in return. So I'm like, yay! Now I can drink bourbon and be like a classy person. I have to find Writer's Tears whiskey though, because that's like his
Writer's
whiskey of
Tears
choice.
whiskey.
Yes, it's called Writer's Tears, and it's apparently not just a gimmick. It's actually quite good whiskey, but they don't sell it anywhere that I've found around me so far. I'll have to do a search because I haven't really looked hard. I've just like, if I've been in a store, I've looked for it. So I'll have to see where I can find it. But
My buddy had some whiskey a long time ago, and I want to say it was called Burn Down. Burn Down. It was Burn Down something. I maybe it's Burned Down the Factory. And I asked him. I said, "Well, where'd you get it from?" And he goes, "It was pretty much a whiskey facility that it burnt down, and these were the last ones that were in it." He goes, "They were a limited edition, this and that." It was maybe it was a factory. It was something else. Anyway, he told me just get a little shot of it, and pretty good stuff. I ain't gonna lie. You can actually absolutely taste the chard of everything in that. The outside of the barrel was on fire as much as the inside at one time. But yeah, he said that it was really interesting, and I told him, I said, who is the ones that it was housed for? He goes, "I don't know." He goes, "I got the bottle, and when I got the bottle, it was given to me by a buddy because it was given to him, and he's like, I know you like whiskeys and this and that, and yeah, I thought it was very interesting." And when you talk about smoky taste, oh boy, you absolutely get. I would almost say floss your teeth afterwards. You might have a char piece in your teeth. That's how charred.
I've had some scotch that's been aged in burned barrels before, and I gotta say I am not a fan. I guess it depends on how long, but there's some where it's like, tastes like charcoal and peat. Yay! I don't mind a peaty flavor, but I'm not big on the charcoal. Mom was telling me, she's like, if we go down, you can go to where they make Maker's Mark, I guess.
Yep.
And like get your own bottle printed and then they age it 10 years and then they send it to you. But I'm like, what if you die or move? You know, is it going to be
You
like
have
on
to
your list of things to
remember.
remember? Like, oh, I better make sure that I update my address every time I move with my maker's mark.
Yeah, that would be a need to thing.
So it'd be, and she was like, do you want one? And I'm like, by the time we get there and get it and do something, no. I'll be at home by then. She won't be, but I will be. Karma's been all over the place. She retired for the 3rd time. She's been to Kansas City now. She's been in Grand Island. She's been home. She's been traveling. She's been hitting casinos. She's got plans. She's doing trips. She's doing all this shit. And I'm just like limping along beside her, trying to keep up. She's like, it's morning. Let's go out for breakfast. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. And I'm like, I've had 3 hours of sleep. I'm going to die. I'm retired. Let's go. Okay.
Did you say Karma?
Yes, that's
Karma.
my mother's name.
That's her name.
Okay. I knew someone by the name of Karma, but I'm sure that wasn't her given name. That just happened to be her stage name. And when y'all said that Karma is a bitch, oh, she absolutely was.
My mother, they have a group that she's worked with a lot of the same people through a bunch of different companies. Like if she leaves, her team goes with her, basically. But they called themselves the VIBs. They would go out for cocktails every now and then, and it was the Very Important Bitches. And she was the Grand Poobah. So yes, Karma is definitely a bitch, and I say this proudly. She is the Grand Poobah of the Very Important Bitches.
That is epic.
Yes.
Mariah,
But you do not want to piss
how
off
you doing?
Karma. Mariah, where you go?
Where did you
Mariah.
go? We miss you so.
I'm here. I'm just doing manager thing with Manager Wade.
Oh, fun.
I'll tell you.
So-
I thought it was funny when you were giving the initials for your thing. I got buddies that go to this music festival with me, and we have TMFC, Too Much Fun Crew. And I really thought it was going to play out a different way, but no, that's what it stands for. Too Much Fun Crew.
I could see so many different ways that could go, and
Yeah.
so many things that could stand for.
Too much fucking clowns.
I was thinking Coke, but I guess that shows what I need
Fucking
right now.
Coke. Yeah.
Totally mean Coke Zero by that, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather have one of those orange and cream Cokes personally.
Ooh, those are pretty dang good.
They're
Even
back
on
out
the
again.
zero sugar.
Yeah. All right. This is
And-
a cherry one. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is a K. Rogers premium.
I am too far away to have my K. Rogers one.
But there is K. Rogers orange soda. Who likes orange soda?
I do.
I do.
So
Ah,
yeah,
Thank
mix
God for
orange
Keenan.
soda with cream soda, and you get your orange cream soda.
There you go.
Okay.
Good.
That I had like multiple kids is like, I would like an orange cream soda, and they were out of the thing. So I'm like, I grabbed a 2-liter of each,
We
and then
also
I did half, and each of their glasses poured some ice and stirred it up.
I'm drinking the cherry right now because of Colin Bunn, because he mentioned on a show that he enjoyed the cherry Coke Zero. And so since I was going to the con that he was going to be at, I was like, well, as long as I'm packing my own in this little cooler bag, I will pack 1 or 2 for him so that if he needs one, and then like that thing was overwhelming, and I didn't get around very much. So I only gave him like 2 out of the 6-pack that I got for him, or something like that. Maybe even just 1, and then I got all the leftovers. Like,
Ooh, leftovers are nice.
Oh yeah. Did you get pictures with anybody you wanted to see?
I got pictures of people that I wanted to see, but I do not enjoy the way I look at a con because it generally equates to I am completely as red as a tomato with sweat rolling down my face as though I've been standing under a spotlight for like 3 hours after I take 2 steps into the con.
You're in a
So,
large building full of people, and it's very hard to cool down that much room with that many
yes, but
people's body heat.
I still see all of these other people that are walking around, even like in heavy costumes, and they're just fine. And I'm like,
Yes.
well, fuck all of you, because I can get a heat stroke when it's like 75 degrees out. So,
Well, that's
Do you, by any chance, have like a rag or anything like that you keep and you stick it on your neck underneath your hair?
no, I did try having a bandana on at Terrificon, and it did not make a difference.
well,
So,
if you roll up, like, if you get those long ice packs that like you can bend around things, you can roll it up in the scarf and put it around your neck.
if I remember, I have things that are for working out, and they're like long. It's like a scarf, only it's maybe like from his nose to this wide, and then like a couple feet long. And you get them wet, and then they stay cool for a while. I just have to remember to like grab them and take them along. But it's like it keeps my neck cool. But I still just my face just flushes. So I took this picture that I'm like the picture that you guys saw of me. That was taken over to Photoshop and like add blush, add ivory blush, cover up the goddamn redness on my face before I post the picture. Like I looked like that, only I was a sweaty mess. So I got rid of like get rid of sweat, cover up the cheeks, make her look like her normal color. Okay. That's me. I cheat. Totally cheat.
Understandable. I would cheat too if at that point I had knew how to cheat. I would just have to have met the people I did, because without who I met at the con, I would not be sitting here with you guys. And I'm like, yay! I get to be on your Twitter. Yay!
Yeah, I got to be good people, and then and take some pictures and hand out some cards and check out all the cosplayers. And there was the best Carrie cosplayer I have ever seen. I'm gonna pull this up because this chick was awesome.
Is she looking like you?
No, Stephen King's Carrie. Okay, where did she go? All
She's
right,
hiding.
got it. Sorry, Red Tusker. Gotta open up these. Okay,
Be
so
gone with you.
I watched her go up the escalator, and I was terrified that it was going to turn into a real disaster, because you'll see this is what she did. And that was so fucking cool. That bucket was just posed up behind her with the blood running down. But somebody, like, thankfully, as she was going up the escalator, like, picked that up and held it up like you would a wedding train or something like that.
Oh,
But
that would be terrible and horrible.
yeah, so here's a frontal view of her. I thought it was great. And she was like, I was at the hospital getting this done. Something about a nurse or somebody came in and like put the maxi pad on her shoulder. And so I had to get a picture of that on the back because, part of the thing. But that was like, I was just like, oh my God, you were awesome. Stop, stand, must take pictures. She was getting it from everybody.
See,
Oh, yeah.
I want to point out all the conventions I have been at is like a day and night versus the pictures that you have. And the reason I say that is because mine are haunted conventions and nightmare conventions and this and that. And then also I go and I see your pictures and I'm like, there's so much illumination. That's no for our conventions. No.
I haven't gotten to go to a horror convention yet. But I see a lot of horror people at regular comic book conventions.
Right.
So they're there. And my sister was sending me pictures and she's just like, so my friend's here, or my friend is where you're at, and she sent me this picture. Who is this? And I'm like, that would be Christopher Lloyd. She's like, you're fucking kidding me. And I'm like, no, that's Christopher Lloyd. He's here. And she's like, that's what I thought, but I thought she was just like funning with me or something. And she's like, and this is not Christina Ricci. And I'm like, that absolutely is Christina Ricci. And your friend spent like $220 to get her picture taken standing next to Christina Ricci. Maybe only 100 and some, depending on which day it was. But yes, that's it. And she's like, and this person from Scream. And I'm like, yes, there are actually a number of people from Scream there. Matthew Lillard is here, and whatever the other guy who you said his name was, like Billy Hooley or something like that. I have no idea who he is.
Ulrich.
He was there too. But there's she's just going through. But the picture of Christopher Lloyd, that was one that her friend should have gotten in a little bit of trouble for, because he was signing stuff at a table and it was like a side shot of him. And you don't take cameras into the celebrity floor, because if you aren't paying for the picture, you get kicked out of the con. And
so my current salty, and it happened like 2 weeks ago. They did the Horror Hound convention up north.
Yep.
Fucking Corey Taylor was there, and I missed it. Like, I'm in a mood right now. I've been talking about it in the Owlite chat. I am stuck on the song Snuff by Slipknot. Corey Taylor is their lead singer, and he played at Horror Hound this year. I'm like, are you flipping serious? So jealous.
See, when I went to Transworld is absolutely not where you're going to see actors. You're not going to see these people. You're going to see the costumes. You're going to see the animatronics. You're going to see this or this or this. But Butch Patrick was there. And as soon as I seen him, I went up the first time and I said, I was told a long time ago, if I ever see you, I need to go and greet you. That is not what you tell these people, apparently, because that just was a shocking comment that he just received. And he told me, he goes, well, very nice to meet you. And I said, yeah. And me and him was just having a small little chit chat. And then all of a sudden, my phone went off and I said, I'm sorry, this is very important. I hope to see you again. And I walked away, took the phone call, this and that. Had other stuff to do, came back. And when I came back to him, it was like the last day. And I said, okay, I apologize for leaving. And he goes, well, you told me when you seen me, you were supposed to say hi to me. And he goes, can I ask who would tell you to do that? And I said, his name was Keith and he passed away. I said, he had the haunted garage. And he goes, okay. I said, in Tip City, Ohio. And he smiled really big. And he goes, and he was donating the money to MS. I said, yeah. And he looked at me and goes, so he told you years ago to come, if I ever, you seen me, you were supposed to say hi to me. I said, absolutely. And he goes, and what's your name? I said, Pyle Hazard. And he smiled real big. And he goes, that is a name that just does not go away. I said, I know, it's like a bad taste in your mouth. You just can't get rid of it. I understand. And he looked at me and goes, did you propose to your wife? I said, I did. And he goes, there. I said, I did. I sat in a crate waiting for her to get in front of the crate for an hour. I said, yes. Uh-huh. And he goes, I heard all this about Keith and this and that. He goes, I even offered to come to Ohio and marry you and your wife. I said, yep. that was the offer on the table from Keith. But unfortunately, we got married, and Keith died right before we got married. So Keith never was able to see that. His wife couldn't make it because she was handling everything with Keith. She felt so terrible. When we went to go see her one time, she said, "Oh yeah, please take these pictures of Butch Patrick." And he goes, "So she gave you some of them photos?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "All right." And I bought some cards off of him, and they were $10. And he goes, "What cards did you get?" And I said, "Well, I got two of the same." He goes, "There is over 70 different pictures in those cards. There's no way in 10 cards you should have two of the same." I said, "I did." And I showed him. I said, "It's you as Eddie Munster sitting on the bicycle." And he goes, "Let me see that." He goes, "What color you want this in?" I said, "What color would you like?" And he goes, "Monster green." So I officially have his signature of him signing that card. And he told me, he goes, "Next time we meet," and I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I want a little more time with you. So after a convention or something, talk to me, and we'll see if we can meet up, and we'll go out to dinner." And he looked over at the lovely lady, I imagine it's his wife, looks right at him and goes, "That sounds fine." And he goes, "Great. He goes, "I'm never going to forget Pyle Hazard. I have known that name. As soon as you said that, I thought there is no way it's the same one." He goes, "But sure as the hell, you are the same one, aren't you?" Yep.
That is so cool.
There is only one Pyle Hazard that claims that right. And I love my name.
That's awesome. I just love that.
Yeah, he seems like the most down to earth guy. Everybody's always said that he's a wonderful guy, great guy to talk to, this and that. He just he just told me, he goes, "No one's ever come up to me and said the way you said it." He goes, "That just set me off like, who in the hell does this guy think he is?" He goes, "But as soon as you said your name, my gosh dang, you can almost do what you want to." I said, nope. We ain't playing that game. Nope. I'm not even close to that status. And I don't want to be that status. I want people to come up. I want people to talk to me, have a great time. It's just, I was told a long time ago by a guy that I respected to go up and introduce myself to him. And yeah, that was like the most awesome thing. I was really happy to see the one that played Eddie Munster. He's the one that takes care of most of the Munster stuff. He's got a whole Munster museum. He told me, "Please come over to the museum sometime." And it's like, that's awesome. So, we'll see how everything goes, because,
that is so awesome. That's like a very that's such a wholesome con experience.
Yeah, I mean,
I love it.
I love meeting haunters. I love meeting haunt actors, haunt owners, people, this and that. The people that are absolutely in this industry are awesome. But when it comes down to movie stars, this and that, if you're a TV and movie star, I know that you put your pants on the same way as I do, and you just put your boots through them, and then you jump in them like they're fire gear and you run out the door. That's exactly how we all put our pants on. And if that's not how you put your pants on, don't correct me, because I do that.
Mine involves a lot more "ah, fuck" than yours does, but I think you have better knees than I do.
Some days I question what kind of path I'm going to get into, because I'll tell you what, knees are not going to be the best, because mom had them replaced, dad had them replaced, and sometimes after me falling down that ladder and banging my knee on every single post, boom, 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 like a cartoon, I wonder if I am going to have them. Did I whine? Did I complain? No, I finished it and said, "Ouch," and self-medicated. Not with what Ratatasker drinks. I had a lot more of the ibuprofen and Tylenol.
Reminded him.
I want to point out that looks like feeding a baby bottle.
Well, usually he shakes it off, but he's drinking a hazelnut vodka tonight, and
For
so
Crystal Lake, huh?
yeah, Crater Lake.
Oh,
But
Crater. I thought it said Crystal.
now, see, that's someplace that needs to have their own Camp Crystal Lake, like swamp juice or something. I don't know.
100% would buy.
Camp Crystal Lake presents Palm Scum.
Voorhees Vino. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I like that one. I like
You
that
know
one.
what? I made some chicken tenders one time, and when I made some chicken tenders one time, I called them Crispy Krugers.
So, what do we all think of this new Nightmare on Elm Street thing that's about to happen?
Another
Don't know.
one? Never heard of it. What's going on now? Are they rebooting or what are they doing?
So, I'm not entirely sure. I caught it in passing, but apparently Robert England is in it, but it's supposed to be a reboot, but not. Like, I'm not really sure. Again, I saw it in passing, and I figured this would be the crew to ask about it. But, like, Robert England's getting up there, so I'm like, how are you going to do this? That became my question.
I
I
don't
mean-
know.
I don't think he'd sign on to do it if he wasn't able to. I mean, look at like Harrison Ford's doing fucking Indiana Jones shit. And let's see. I gotta see here. Hold on. Okay, he's 82. How old is Robert England? He's only 77, so like, yeah, I think he's still young enough to do it.
You know what? I
mean-
love Robert England. And one of his best work of arts, to me, is not Nightmare Before Christmas. I'll have to look it up, what movie it was, but I just love him being that crazy, crazy guy. Oh, give
Oh
me a
no,
sec here.
what's wrong with Clive Barker? I mean, I would love to have his autograph. I'm super bummed because my last Facebook account, I got a message from him where he replied to something I had asked him and sent me a personal message, and then they deleted my account, but I didn't know there was anything going on with Clive Barker. That's sad. What's going on with that, George? I was trying to put your names together, John. I was like, oh, that sucks. I'll have to, I'll burn some candles for him or something, but that's not. Like, I'll have to send it. Why would Clive Barker want something sent to him by a random person from Nebraska? That would.
I want things sent to me from one particular random person in Nebraska. That would be epic.
You have gotten random things sent to you from North Carolina.
Well, I found random things of yours in Georgia.
Also fair. I still can't believe that.
That
2001 Maniacs.
That was good.
Ooh, it's on Tubi.
yes.
I'm gonna watch that thing.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just like, is this for real your signature? And it's like, yes. And then I find out, well, those people are douchebags and they don't deserve you. at all.
Like when you sent that to me, I was like, no way. And then I saw it and I was like, oh my god, it is. Like that was mind blowing. Like that was
Yes.
yeah.
So I told Friday that if someone says, "Hey, I need you to sign this," I will absolutely sign it. But if it's a book or if it's a paper, I'm going to fold it, open it back up. If it's a book, just open it up, and I'm going to sign right there in the crease. And it's going to have my signature, and I'm going to put, "I signed your crack."
There is somebody who did that in every single yearbook that I had in high school. Same guy.
I did.
Doug Reynolds did that in every single book I had in high school yearbook. I was
Do we know
like,
if Curtis ever mailed those books?
I will check with him. I believe so.
Okay, because I didn't receive a thingy saying, "Hey, you owe me this for postage," and Ron has said nothing.
Okay, I'm not sure if you got in touch with him last or if I did. So
No, I said thank you.
If you sent the address, because I didn't send an address to him. Did you send an address to him?
I sent an address to you to send it to him because you were talking.
Maybe I did. Let me check. let me scroll here. But
Oh Lord. Now we're figuring out, hey, I didn't do this.
No. I know that. Okay, there he is. Yeah, no, I sent it to him. That was a while ago though. But it was a month ago. I'll check with him and see what's up.
Okay.
No, I say that because every time we are all on here together, a conversation comes up and we're like, oh wait, did I do that?
Yeah, I still
Every
need
time.
to get after they get to Raz, they need to be sent to you.
To me? What are we talking about?
Because I still need to get them to you, Mariah.
What? Okay, see, this is new. What?
Well, you're in the book.
How am
I
I
need
in
you to
this?
sign the books.
Oh, is it the anthology?
Yes. I promised my mother-in-law a very expensive present.
Oh.
These books are going all over the country.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking expensive. And do you want me to sign under this name or the one that I used in the anthology?
As long as they're signed, I don't care if you use the name that is not spoken on any of these shows. As long as they're signed.
That's fair.
I would say that one would be worth money, but no, it still ain't worth nothing. This name is worth a lot more than the other one.
Anyone watching?
No, not
Great
yet.
Test. Ooh, nice. Is it following the books, Jar? Because
books were political.
Yeah, that's something where a lot of people are like, Dune, Blue Eyes, Worms, and I'm like, and so much politics. If you need to learn about politics, that is a great way to study. You know?
Yeah,
like,
those books are an underline in political, like everything political. From schemes to shadow organizations, like Dune got it all.
I need to finish them. I haven't finished all the books yet because I bought all of them, but I was missing like book 3 or something. So I couldn't, that each book is huge and a lot of shit happens. So you don't want to skip like the middle book and just be like, I'll read the Cliff Notes version. It's like, I'll read the Cliff Notes version of War and Peace that is still 300 pages long because it's fucking War and Peace, which, by the way, I've never completed. And I will admit that live.
Look, Tolstoy is long-winded. It's almost like reading F. Scott Fitzgerald in hyperactive. It's fucking horrible.
If I had known what I did not know this was pre-internet days when I picked up War and Peace, and I was like, okay, I've got this huge book. It's a classic. I'm going to sit down and read it. I got my notebook and I started writing down everybody's name and then the little excerpt of what they were doing, so that because I noticed, yeah, I started doing that after about the first 20 pages or so, because I saw like, okay, there's going to be a lot of characters here, and I got to track, okay, these guys were at a party talking about this. Okay, it'll eventually get back to the party, and it never gets back to the party. The book is just like 4,000 slices of life going on through the war. There aren't storylines to follow. Nobody's plot gets finished, at least as far as I'd gone a couple 100 pages in, and I finally was just like, none of these are going to finish. They're all just gonna sit there, and I'm never gonna find out what happened to any of these people. And so I couldn't keep investing myself in it. And I had read it trying so hard to relate with all the different people and figure out how to tie them in with each other and do all this stuff, that I couldn't finish it. I mean, it's been probably 30 years since I tried to read it, at least. So maybe now I could pick it up, and knowing what it is, just go in and try to read it as that. But I just remember I kept reading this paragraph about the military setting up on the banks of the Danube, and that was the one that just stopped. I just like, this has nothing to do with anything, and I've never found out what happened at the party yet. I'm done. I can't. Because nobody told, if it had been on the internet, I could have hopped on and been like, oh, so don't read this book in this fashion. Read this book as just getting the feel for everything. It's kind of exploratory in nature, at least for its time setting, when it came out. But no, I didn't do that. I read it wrong, which made me like, oh, okay. Sorry, just read private chat.
I'm waiting for the last one. As soon as the other one comes back.
Okay, cool.
Nope, you're good. You're good. Continue ranting.
Oh no, it's just like
no, I'm listening to her rant and just agreeing with it.
It's a neat piece of writing, and I've actually at different points in my life, like I think, is it the beginning of the movie The Pink Panther, the original one, that starts off with a whole bunch of just strange things that, at least in the beginning, don't, like, there's like a skiing accident, some weird shit happens. Some movie I watched that was like an older comedy kind of thing, just started off with a bunch of totally non-related things that just happened in the intro, and you were just like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
And then it went on, and then there was just like a regular movie, and I was like, it would almost be fun. Like, you couldn't do, like, these days, movies are like 2 to 3.5 hours long, but to have a short film that's, like 20 minutes just of kind of random shit occurring, and like find some way in the end that ties it all into each other, I think would be fun. But yeah, you have to know things like this. So if you're going to read War and Peace, folks, I mean, do it. It's a great book. It's, everybody except for me loves it because I read it the wrong way. But don't go into it thinking you're going to find resolution in something. Go into it like you're learning. Yes, go into it discovering that you're going to learn from hundreds of perspectives what it was like to be alive during that time, from the gentry to the military to the lower class, in all different areas where there's fighting going on, where there's not. And so it gives you a flavor of the times, but no real plot.
So I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm supposed to be super cerebral, and War and Peace is one of those books where people measure you by if you've read it or not. As a piece of literature, props. Okay, like, Tolstoy put in some work. And as a person, I despise that fucking book. I'm not gonna lie, I hated reading it. I hated having anything to do with it. But I did. And I regret it. Like, I hate it. I hate it so much.
I understand.
It if you are into like period pieces that jump around a lot and like tell you every little thing, it is good for what it is. And I mean, it gives you a real good look at, what life was like at that time. But if you are looking for, the story, if you are in the book for the story, it's going to get lost in all of that. You're going to drown in everything else. I hated it. Like, I am so totally with you on that, Del. My mind was...
One thing that it didn't do, at least in the parts that I read, that was really good was it left out how many pounds per year they were getting in income and the purchasing of bonnets. Because Pride and Prejudice, well, you see, John, he writes books just as long as Stephen King's are. But, I mean, it's one of those things. Do you want to unalive yourself by jumping off of a Russian novel or a Stephen King novel? Because either way, it will work. You can wear them as armor. You can use them as like weapons. They're all great. But yeah, no, there's no, it's kind of like the section of Tommyknockers, like the middle this many pages, where somebody's driving past the town and they get this wonderful, crazy, inspired idea. And then as they leave and they get like 10 miles away, they forget it. And then everybody in town orders more pancake makeup. And then like something strange happens with the machine. And then somebody else is driving by the town. That's kind of like what War and Peace is. It's just this chunk of like the other things. And there are no main characters, or if there are hundreds of main characters that each have their own story that never finishes.
So the way you just described that is, in my mind, how the movie Trick or Treat works. Because every story folds into another story, but there is no main character because they're all together.
But Sam ties them all together.
Okay. Okay,
Sam,
yeah, I can see that.
He's kind of like the cute little crypt keeper, but he has his own story going on throughout the whole thing as well.
Which is really interesting because he's actually got less screen time than any other of the people. But he's the one that ties everything together, and it all loops together. And if you don't understand that one about that movie, you will watch this movie twice and be confused as much as the first time until you lock in that guy.
Yeah, it's an anthology series, but it does have a tie-in. Not all anthology movies do, So, right. And that's like a lot of the Tales from the Crypt and stuff like that. The comics. I'm sorry, I have comic on the brain. Lots of comic on the brain right now.
Oh, but I have no idea why.
I don't know. But a lot of like the Tales from the Crypt and stuff. They do. I mean, like the Crypt Keepers there, and it's like, oh, this is the theme for the month or something. Like, we're going to tell some haunted. We're going to be talking about some haunted Christmas festivals. But that's it. There's no like, he doesn't have his own little thing going on. But I like that Sam kind of ties everything together into one loop of a story in Trick or Treat. Because
he might not be the killer. He might be the one that just walks past a window. But I have to get Ray to go to bed. That way I can get my semi and this load that they absolutely need down to Cincinnati. And Cincinnati somewhere had a tornado. So I wonder if it's the facility that needs what I have on the back of my truck.
Good question. I have no idea.
I have a question about semis that my mother and I have noticed recently because we've been on the road a lot together.
Okay.
There are a lot of them in this area in particular, that their beds have this like folded thing in the bed, and it holds like branches and stuff, but it's not like a trailer. It's like a black, not U-shaped kind of, well, it's like a U-shaped thing that goes about half as high as a trailer would, but it's not totally completely round. It's like, and we are wondering what the benefit is of that for hauling things, because it doesn't seem like it's one of those things like a coal train. It doesn't go over it. It's like bound down, and we are curious about those. And I also saw some Wildcat missiles being hauled, that the truck was like out of fucking control, man. Like, this truck kept passing us on the interstate in the rain, and then we'd pass it, and then it'd pass us. And I'm like taking pictures, and I like had to get, because Mom's like, what is that fucking crazy guy haul? I'm like, oh my God, it's missiles. And she's like, what? I'm like, no, I'm getting, and she's like, oh my God, like, okay, I'm gonna pass it, so get a picture. Oh, he's passing us again, get a picture. So I got it until I could see there's like rain all over the windshield, but there's Wildcat missiles just strapped to the back of a fucking truck. I was like, what the fuck?
So the trailer you were talking about, the first
Yes.
one,
Yes.
I almost have to have you tell me exactly, because the way I'm picturing it is, here's your front of the trailer, here's the back of the trailer,
Those
and
are
it's
open.
like that.
No, the front and back are open. It's laying on the bed, and it like if it was an envelope, it'd be like there's a flat section, and it'd go like it would round up on the sides, but
Okay.
it's not completely round. It's like, sectioned off into
It
angles.
sounds like a cradle.
Yes, kind of like that.
Okay.
But there's nothing in front or back to hold the stuff. We're just wondering what it's for, because we've never seen them before. They are new to us.
Well, they could be a couple different things, but the way you're describing it is wind turbine pieces.
We're used to those, but there's like branches and things and weird pipes and stuff is what we're seeing in them most of the time. Like stuff that normally you would just see like ziplocked around something, or not zip, you know what I'm talking about, when they wrap them around and you don't want to be behind them because you've seen movies where like one pole comes shooting out and like goes through the head of the person driving. But it's been things like that, like they're hauling pipes or debris mostly.
Is it the cage one?
No, it's just this black kind of U-shaped thing that's half the size of half the height of a regular trailer, and just open-ended on both sides. And we're just like, well, that's new.
I would almost have to see it, or have like a really good.
I'll try to get you a picture of one, and then I will ask, because I'm asking for Mom because she's just been like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, you got to find out what it is. I'm like, I will try to find out what that is.
There are so many different types of trailers out there, and what you haul could be what the differences are. I mean, you can have one that is a coal bucket, and the coal buckets, they're round kind of, and as soon as they get to their destination, they just go up and everything slides right off the dang things. Or it could be turbine holders, like pieces of turbines going down the road. I mean, those were very common around here when they were putting up the turbine fields. And those are pretty dang long, but to see branches in something,
it's like they were cleaning up a forest or something, and it's like a new thing that we've seen on the highway, because Mom does a lot of highway driving, so she's just like very confused. And also, those people driving missiles should not be driving and weaving in and out. And I know that you can't just like, it's not going to go off if they hit somebody, but Jesus Christ, missile man, slow down on the rain on the interstate. It's fucking not cool. It was like freezing rain, and you're like dodging traffic, like going fucking 80 miles an hour.
I never hauled missiles, so I don't know the regulations, but I'll tell you now, it just seems like one of those things. And usually missiles, they don't have the number one components on them.
Okay.
And you're just transporting shells.
Okay.
The casing. You're
right,
transporting the casing of it.
Last question. Generally speaking, if you own a truck and you don't own a trucking company, but you own your own rig, you own the front, right? Like you don't own the whole trailer and shit. You haul what other people have for you, right?
Okay, so that
Is this the right one?
No, these things are like completely black, but they're like the length of the trailer, kind of a. I'll find one.
Okay.
I'm just. Thank you though for trying.
I can tell you that is what would be cleaning up a woods or something like that. They're just taking whatever they can, and they'll make them into whatever they can. But if you are a owner, okay, and you're not a company, you're just a private owner, you can own the truck and you can own a trailer. You can own any type of trailer you want. But you become a company when you're transporting someone else's stuff. Does that make sense?
Right. I just assumed that you would get that in most cases, like somebody would have the trailer that they needed, that you just go and haul their trailer with their stuff because it's set up how they want it or configured. I didn't know.
Most of the Amazon trailers that you see on the road don't haul Amazon. Yeah.
Also, she also asked me, Weber is so popular. What do they move? And I'm like, everything. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Weber is just a company that hauls whatever they ask them to, unless I'm totally wrong there.
It's freight. Anything that'll go on that trailer, if it fits, it ships, is pretty much when it comes down to trucking.
Okay, I got that one right.
Yeah, I mean anything. But what they'll do is usually it's skid cargo. Anything that can be put on a skid.
Okay.
Cargo. They're not going to haul. They're not going to haul milk crates because they don't have the right trailer for it. They need a refrigeration trailer.
Right.
Swift is usually dry skid transport. The thing about Swift is that they actually have refrigeration units now, and there's very, very few Swift flatbed, but there are Swift flatbed now too.
Oh, cool.
I don't think Swift's got into the tankers yet. Please don't. I'm just saying. They're still on that questionable list. They're a little higher on that questionable list. I think they're like number 7. But once you get to like number 1, 2, and 3, you ain't transporting out of your state. I'm just telling you right now, you're not transporting out of your state because you screwed up so bad that your record has limited you from hitting a county or a state line.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when Mom asked me that, it was like when my sister was little, she was like, that Mayflower school must be huge because they have so many buses everywhere we go. They're always taking their kids to some tournament or something. And we've always like joked about that with her, but now I get to tell Mom, like, yeah, that's what Weber is. It's the same thing. They just they haul everything. It's not like, oh, we're getting our shipment of Weber tools in today, or those Weber popcorn trucks. Weber popcorn is the best. It's not a product. It is a trucking company, not a product company.
Right. Now here's the kicker. Aaron Sales and Lease. When Aaron Sales and Lease is not loading their semis to take them furniture to a store, they will transport whatever cargo they can just to keep business. The worst thing you can do is transport a truck miles and miles away with no cargo. You're losing money on that 100%. That is why our company that I work for, we right now are transporting from our location down to Cincinnati. From Cincinnati, we're twisting it back and grabbing a load and bringing it up this way. But that is good because that is making money down and that is making money back.
Right.
Places that you will not see them use their semis for anything else is like restaurant places. They're going to transport all their restaurant stuff on there just because it is one of those things that you're constantly going different places that are all the same stuff. You're just going to go from your hub, pick up whatever you need, put it on the semi, and go to these restaurants this day, next day, these restaurants. And if you get the weekend off, awesome. But that doesn't guarantee nothing, because if there's a big convention in your town, your semis are go there extra to get that extra stuff there. Because you never want a restaurant to run out of their number one signature stuff.
Yeah.
And
so like Pegler Cisco is just food going from distributor to.
Yep. Gordon's Food Service is the exact same thing. You see those cruising down the road. You see a whole bunch of different Preferred's another one. Those are all different companies that you'll see, and they're transporting the foods, this and that. McCormick transports all their stuff, and they transport their stuff to different places. Even if it's transporting it from their facility to a fulfillment center. Hey, that's a wide load.
Is this similar, Del?
No, the sides go up to like half the height of a normal trailer that would be being hauled. So don't worry about it, honey. I'll find one, or I'll get a picture of one next time I'm out with Mom, because they seem to be. I'll draw you pictures. I'm sorry I kept you so long, pal, but this has been our educational portion of the show here. So
I love talking about my work. I can't say who I work for because, I don't want to get in trouble or anything like that. But I love my job. I love every aspect about it. And the ironic thing is, I used to work for a company that delivered furniture to houses and picked up furniture from houses. And I was there for 8 years. And have you ever watched Futurama?
Sometimes.
Okay,
I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen some of it.
First episode of Futurama is Fry's saying that he doesn't want to be a delivery guy anymore because that's all he wanted and that's what he did, and he didn't have fun doing it, so he wants to be anything but a delivery guy. They tell him, hey, you're welcome to the future. You have to be a delivery guy. He's fighting it. He goes and finds his great nephew in the future and finds out that he owns a rocket that delivers. And he goes, you can be a delivery guy or a delivery boy. And instantly he's like, woohoo, I'm a delivery boy. That's how I felt with my old job. Man, I don't want to do this delivery stuff anymore. And now I am a delivery boy and I'm happy about it because honestly, what I do now is so much better. The company I work for. And honestly, I just love it. It's going to be springtime. Here, I'm going to absolutely possibly checking in with shows from the cab of my truck as long as I can, because I'm going to be out super late. And I prefer that because I love my job and I know the things are getting done as much as they need to get done. But anytime you have any type of questions dealing with agriculture, if I don't know it.
Hi.
Mariah,
hey guys. Fractured Mind Publishing is having the best sell ever. I got a Christmas anthology for $250 and it has monsters and everything. Please go check out their site on the Fractured Mind Publishing page.
Yes, ma'am. I shall do so.
But
Okay.
As you were saying,
yeah, real quick. If you have any questions about anything dealing with agriculture or anything dealing with trucking, if I don't know, I will find your answer because I'm probably asking the same dang questions. I didn't know there was a thing called Frost Law. Anybody ever heard of Frost Law?
no.
Like Jack Frost laws and legal?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. I'm not saying that you don't pronounce words right. I'm just every now and then with your accent and my brain, I'm always every now and then.
I didn't even know I had an
hearing it right.
accent until I started doing stuff, and everybody's like, "Yeah, you got Ohio accent."
Oh,
You have
I
an
do
accent
too.
and a different mode of speech, a different what's it called?
We call it pie on knees.
Well, I speak Dunlapanese, to be honest, but
Oh no, you can ask anybody. It's called pile on knees. Not pile on his knees, just pile on knees. I know that's what the squirrel was thinking. So, Frost Law, real quick. In the time that everything starts dialect, yeah. The time that everything starts freezing and this and that, you can start going down some of these other roads that usually you couldn't at heavier loads. And the reason, because everything is rock solid hard and you're not destroying the road. As soon as it starts thawing from that frost, and there is time frames between this time and this time, and March 1st was the first day that you could not go on these roads. They were going through. Nice. But March 1st was the day that these heavier loads could not go on there. They call it the Frost Law, and as soon as they get a chance to go and set officers off to the side of these traveled roads, they will pull them over instantly and cite them. And some of these states, the counties in these states, get so much money from the Frost Law that it is stupid. Like, you don't make a fraction of that on any other citations as much as the Frost Law, because they go by increments of how much you're over.
Oh. What is your take on Sam Penipa's Convoy? John has mixed feelings.
So are we talking about the song or the movie? Because let me look it up, because I'm thinking there's a song and there is actually a movie.
So
there's two songs.
Right, Convoy and yeah.
My roommate in college had, like, her dad was a trucker, and so like we traveled. I-80 is the most boring interstate ever. It is just straight. Like, you could take a lock, put your wheel there, and just nap for like 4 hours as you're going from where 2.5 hours depending on the speed limit now, from like where I am to Kearney. And she'd always be like, we're gonna get in a convoy, there's like 5 trucks, that's a convoy. I'm like, I don't think 5 trucks counts as a convoy. I think that counts as Nebraska traffic. But she would always be like,
Newton traffic.
But it was always just like, yeah, just follow the trucks. And it's like, well, that just makes sense. I think a convoy means something more than just 5 trucks.
Actually,
I'm not sure.
We if we're doing a convoy, we could do 3 and not a problem. It's partner system and convoy is like whatever. But the reason that we do it is because we all are going to the exact same place and we gotta be there basically the same time. So we want to make sure that everybody gets there. And what he was talking about, I do believe, is the movie, and it's been so long since I've came across that movie. I actually forgot that movie was even a movie. I would have to rewatch it, but I don't think that movie really grabbed my interest too much. just because when it comes down to truck movies, I love them and I hate them at the same time because it's not in the trucking realm. When you're talking about Smokey and the Bandit was amazing. But Smokey and the Bandit, once again, you don't have what that was. So some of these movies actually made a lot of people fear the capabilities of a semi. And that was a terrible thing to do because honestly, you know, back when some of these things were made, they went action.
Okay, so Stefan drove Kenworth, and they said that they agreed upon 10 plus trucks. My question, and this is something for everybody out there that does the same thing and goes, I'll ask somebody someday, what is Jake braking?
Oh, Jake
and why
braking
is it
easy.
banned? Because like when you go into towns, they'll be like, no Jake braking. And I'm like, I don't know how to Jake brake. I'm assuming that's a trucker thing.
So Jake braking is actually when you're going and using your engine brake, okay? And what you're doing is you're flipping a switch and applying the brake. When you apply the brake, it sends your exhaust right back into your engine and it opens up this part that forces that engine to slow down. That's why you have that really loud boom, 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 boom sound. Mine are very quiet because they found out a new way to do it, same exact way, just a different way of doing it that's a lot quieter. So you don't have the louder stuff. I do not have to comply with that Jake brake law because mine is so many decibels underneath what they would want.
Okay, so it's using the engine to brake rather than using like something that touches the axles on the wheels or the brakes on the wheels, right?
Right, and if you use
I don't
that
think brakes
while
use
you're
the axles, but
well, you're kind of right because if you go and you use the Jake brake and you're going on ice, this is a bad thing because it'll actually put that air brake back into the engine, which actually is forcing that engine to slow down. If it's on ice, you're not getting the traction of the wheels trying to push you forwards. You can actually make it go into the engine and actually turn it backwards and make your wheels go backwards.
oh my.
Have I done it? No. Do I want to? Hell no. But
Okay. Last question.
okay.
Actually, this is the stupidest question ever. I realized just as I was getting ready to ask it, because the rig hauls the trailer. I was going to say, I'm asking this because I was taught, even though I can't drive anymore because of epilepsy, like how to stop and not stop on ice, depending on if you were front wheel drive or rear wheel drive, because you drop it into neutral to stop so that your wheels aren't still turning when you're in town at just like coming up against a stoplight, you know? And I was just going to ask you if semis were front or rear wheel drive. And I realized how completely stupid of a question that was because the front is the only thing that pulls because the trailer doesn't.
No, the trailer does not, but there are in really, really, really rare cases where you can actually get a truck that runs all drive tires and it's actually got tires in the front that can actually pull. Really rare has this ever been used, but it's a military use up. The six axle drives, military will use them. In the trucking industry, you best be going through the worst conditions that you ever come across, and you better not have been doing it. But that truck that you were showing, that logger truck, there's a higher risk that is a 6-axle drive, and he'll lock in his differentials. That way he can use all of the axles to be able to do it. But yeah, it's almost unheard of because who in the hell needs it? You have all the drive on the drive tires. As long as you got weight on those drive tires, that's not a problem. The only reason you need that is if you're going through like mud, and the military uses it, and logger trucks can use it. We don't even touch it. There is no reason for us to even have it.
I'm going to add the rest of my questions to my notes section so I can ask you next time so that I can let you go because you have to drive tomorrow. And I don't want you to be tired on your drive.
Right.
So.
But yeah, I mean, I love.
Ooh.
Wow.
No.
Oh, I thought you said that you were
No.
going 120 miles per hour. I was like, how in the fuck did you get a truck going 120 miles an hour? But okay, 10 miles per hour.
Yeah, no. No. My company is awesome enough that as soon as we say, hey, the roads ain't good enough, the boss says, see you tomorrow. No headaches, no nothing. There's nothing worth us risking our life and our equipment.
That's
Other
a good
companies get her done. Us, unless it's absolutely crucial because that's the last chance you get, there's no reason for us to do it. And honestly, he'll tell us to take a 2-hour wait before he tells us go home.
That's
But
very
yeah,
cool
I mean,
of them.
Our company is totally different than everybody else's company. I know the military, they will put convoy signs on their stuff, and it'll be like 5 vehicles in that freaking convoy. So, yeah, that's just, I think at some point it is just basically what you think. But yeah, I'm going to get off here because if I don't, I'm going to keep on talking about trucks. I love talking about trucks. I've always
I have
been
more
a big
questions
fan.
about trucks, so I will ask you them
Hey.
next time.
You can ask them here, or you can ask them on my messenger, or you got my number. Any questions you ever have, go ahead and ask. If I don't know, I want to find out the answers because honestly, you know, if I don't know, I can't provide it. And I'm going by what all of our people at our company has ever told me, because this is the only company I've ever worked for, and I love this company when it comes down to my CDL. So you guys all have a wonderful evening. Always be safe.
Mwah.
And
mwah to April.
I will absolutely. It is storm season. Please be careful. Make sure you know where you're going and know what time you think you'll be there. Always contact people when you're driving. All right?
All right. It's
Bye,
so
guys.
good to see you again. It's been forever. I love you.
I know. I've been wanting to call you, but it's like, man, I know she's busy.
Dude, and I'm so sorry. It has been like with mom retiring and the cons. She wants to do things and I'm the only one that doesn't work. So I'm like constantly on entertaining my retired mom or doing something with a show. So it's just like, but yes, we will reach out. Things are calming for me now. So
if you keep it up, I will start sending you a good morning photo, and then we can play the mystery guessing game of what is attached to what piece of equipment. Right, Friday?
Dude, Dante has been loving this. He has learned so much, and he's been integrating it into his games. He's been playing with his toys, or it's answered questions ahead of time when we're doing school, because we had a whole entire farming section where the dinosaurs helped on the farm, and he learned which things were what. It was awesome.
So, once again, I'm going to take off. You guys all have a great one, and don't forget to smile, guys.
Mwah! Yes, we know. Even fear has a smile.
Fear does.
I had to blow my nose there real quick. So I'm like, I don't want anybody to see me blowing my nose.
Oh, I know that
Oh,
feeling.
I forgot to bring my microphone back down. So I saw that tonight we announced we were talking about tarot card readings was one of the things that was mentioned in the title of tonight's show. Okay, so we didn't really go yet. We haven't really gone there yet.
No, we haven't. I just put something in the title.
Now
the crow always
the crow
judges
is
us.
fucking judging you, Stefan. I'm all about the crow. Okay, I gotta move back. I gotta push a lot of buttons at once. Okay, so I love doing tarot card readings. I
Oh,
love
I
my
do
tarot
too.
cards. I have not used them for an exceptionally long time. Like, it has been over a decade since I have done an actual reading for somebody. I have new decks. I gotta let show off your deck. I want to see.
Oh, I have the lovers is on top because it's come up in two different people's readings.
Oh,
One right side up and one upside down because one's trying to work their marriage out and the other one is going through a divorce and
okay.
she's trying to find a way to realize she is still worth everything even though she's divorced. She can do this and move forward. She's come up into readings up
Oh,
right side up and upside down.
can you
And
bring
the
her a little
thing, the
closer?
reason, the Empress,
I have
and
a
the reason it's been on my mind is because these two cards and they speak to me. They're like, no, we have to go further, and they have yet to be wrong.
do you find when you do readings that you have an indicator that's for you, like you know that it's you when it shows up, like your influence on people or whatever, or that when people do readings for you it shows up a lot?
I have yet to have no other than like paying for it. I've only had one person do a reading for me, and I've been like, oh wow. But I've seen how somebody else's reading will impact my life.
Right.
And normally I will feel something and like she is screaming. I don't know why she screams, but she is screaming a lot today. But yeah, it's I just feel the stuff inside the energy.
I would totally buy that, Stefan. Not safe for
Okay.
work Mythos deck. Yeah.
Yes, I want one. Dude.
I have sitting right over
Dude.
here a crow deck that I have yet to open because I need to do I have a ritual with my decks and I haven't had time to do it yet. And I've had it for like 2 years and I feel bad, but I haven't done a reading. What deck was that one that you just had up that you were
This
showing?
one is called Tarot of the Divine, and it takes different fairy tales from across the world. Uh
Cool.
each each arcana has each set like cups, wands, swords, they all have a different fairy tale with them. And the
Nice.
reading goes along with that. And like the King of Cups is a dragon. Dr. Nairi Bakalian showed me this deck on a live she had, and I'm just like, okay, I need my own copy. And
Very
getting this
nice.
deck and getting the book with it is so worth it because it explains the it explains each of the fairy tales with it. And
Uh,
each you learn something about the different parts of the world.
can I ask? My thought would be on something like that. Okay, would be that the staves uh would be Little Red Riding Hood. I don't know what they are,
Um,
but if it's fairy tale, I'm not sure. But you said it's worldwide, so it's different,
yeah,
like kind of mythological stuff.
dude,
Okay,
the Five of Swords is Egyptian.
nice. I My favorite deck, the best deck that I ever synced with, and I need to buy another one of them. Well, first I'm going to see how these crow cards do, but the Ibis deck. It's a glorious Egyptian deck. It's not over the top. It's got a lot of like the basic Egyptian symbols and stuff in it, but it's very pretty. But it's not like overwhelmingly cute. It's not high detailed painting kind of level, which I do have one deck that somebody gave me, but I don't use it very often because it's a sentimental thing for me. It's probably like 100 years old by now, and it's just something that I keep on the back burner. But yeah, what was the first deck that you were showing though? Because I loved that too. That was beautiful.
What is it called? This one I'm most linked to because I've had it. It's my first deck ever. I have the book fell apart, so I just laminated all the things together. Let me find the cover.
I'm trying to figure out. There's the Thoth tarot deck is what Aleister Crowley used, and that's what Alan Moore uses because he's like, if it was good enough for Aleister Crowley, or if it was good enough for Aleister Crowley, it's good enough for me.
Oh yeah.
I've had an Alice in Wonderland deck. I think a great starter deck for people are the Rider-Waite. It's very simple. But it is interesting how every deck. Okay, let me pull that up real quick. I'm gonna make you big there. Oh,
It's
okay.
There we go. Cachet Tarot deck.
Okay.
From Top Hat.
I love how every deck makes it its own, and so getting like my indicator, I was bringing that up earlier, and for you guys that haven't played around with tarot before, if you're a reader or you're having yourself read somewhat often, you will often find a card that shows up that represents yourself, especially if you're doing readings for friends because you are an influence in their life and you're obviously they're helping them in some way. You will show up in their reading. You will show up as your own. Many times, and it sounds for skeptics, it's going to sound stupid. For those of us who've done readings and had things work, it works. I often, when people would use, and this is in the past, so I have no idea what my current indicator would be. But back when I was in my early to mid 20s, or late teens to mid 20s, I was the High Priestess. That was the deck that was the card that would show up. And oftentimes, depending on how you do your layouts, you can do all sorts of different things. Raz and I actually have the same weird layout. It's a alternate on a Celtic cross thing. That's our main layout. And it starts off with a card, and the first card is "This is you," this covers you, and this crosses you. And it's like the first card represents who you are at that moment. The next card that's covering you is something that either has your back or something that's going on in your life. The crossing you is the issue that you have to deal with. And then it goes through, your past, your present, everything you've done, and all these other things. There's a bunch of cards laid out. But you can do all sorts of different kinds of readings. And when I saw that you were doing this, I wanted to bring it up because there was a game that I used to play. By the way, the different cards of what I was saying before this, before I get into the game, depending on who designed the tarot deck, the meanings have slightly changed meanings there. I mean, like, you never want to get the 10 of Swords. It's just not good. It's bad things happening. But depending on the deck, oh, you got one? Okay, let's see it.
First card in my reading for me today. You say you never want to get 10 of Swords. I get 10 of Swords. I get Death. 3 of Swords.
Tower?
And 4 of Swords. No, I didn't get the Tower.
Well, at least that's good. And Death actually isn't a bad card. Death means change, but the 10 of Swords fucking sucks. That's major conflict in your life. And
God, it's right now. The thing is, there's going to be a time soon where there's going to be at least a week or two where Jenny's just not doing anything network coming up soon.
Okay.
Because Jenny's got to take care of life. It is important that I take care of here, now, and this. And then after I get reestablished where I'm going, because I don't know where that is yet.
Well, absolutely. And For those of you who know that cards can be upright or reversed, it does not mean that the exact opposite is happening when something is reversed. Such as with the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords, life's, you're going to just be dealing with some shit. Reversed probably means that you're already dealing with some shit, and it's going to keep happening for a while, but at least you've gotten a tentative grasp on what you're coping with, but it's still not letting go of you. So it's not just like, oh, I got the Ten of Swords reversed, so life is great. It's like, no, you got that card to begin with. It sucks. And I'm sorry.
I'm hurt. I'm sore. Well, I'm hurt. I'm sad. I'm apprehensive, and I'm not sure. And it shows. Yep, I'm going through a lot of big changes. But it says as soon as we get where we're going, we are going to be able to start again. I'm going to, with these two, I'm going to reach a new milestone and everything's going to be okay. But
yes, but beforehand, you have to Harry Potter the shit out of your life. And
so I just don't want you to think I'm giving up on the network and I'm giving up on you guys. I'm not giving up on you guys, dear viewers. I'm just going to have a week to a month where all my digital stuff outside of reading just to calm my mind down is going to just not happen.
That is fair. And folks, I know I have been really absent on the network lately. I am trying to make more time. It has been a combination of some health things and some other things going on in my life, but most of those are resolving. So I'm not going to be like taking Jenny's place by any means, but at least I'll be able to be here a little bit more and hopefully contribute more towards what's going on.
Yeah,
because I can't do what you do. You fucking run the place, dude. It's gonna be like,
that's why I'm like, I need your help on these couple of days so I can work on kid things.
Yes, family before pod, life before pod.
Yep, that's why I asked you to take over making those two events, because kid things.
Which two events?
Did I do them? Said, well, you helped me fix one of the others this last time around.
When I changed the one, yeah. All right.
But yeah, I just figured, because I've told everybody that there's going to be a move. I just don't know what I've told you. If you've heard any about it, we're moving. Mom's already moved to Mama's house. Fred is no longer suicidal. He is doing better. He is wearing a shrinker, and they're trying to get him to the point where he can wear a prosthetic.
Okay.
And the cousin that had originally decided to give up, now
that's good. That's good.
We're getting somewhere. So Martha's moved over there to be at his house. So there's a trained medical professional there at all times.
That is good. So,
but until we can get, we're going to be moving, and then in about a year, we're going to be we've been given a piece of the property that his house is on to put a place on. So we're going to get a trailer and put it over there. We're going to save up and work on getting that done and use income tax return. And we're going to finally have a forever home that we don't have to worry about.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you.
But we have to first get through this first year. So I have to finish packing her stuff and put it in storage. I have to get all of our stuff packed. I have to figure out where we're going. And we have to get there. So, yeah.
All right. I will do my best to assist where I can and get things going as much as I can do it. I'm sorry that I have been an absentee member of the thing to mostly you, but to you guys too. If you give a shit when I show up or not. But
I always care about you. I always tell people about you. I share stuff in our special group that I've made for you about crows and cute pictures of crows.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, Friday here runs all of the stuff. And she makes groups for all of us people. She makes groups for random shit that have to do with us people. And I get like the other day, I hop onto Facebook and it's like, you've been invited to 9 different sites by Jenny Elliott. I'm just like, okay, join. Congrats from Stefan.
Thank you.
So yeah, so I suddenly discover like, oh, there's a site about crows. It has to deal with me. Yay.
Well,
didn't know it was
I'm
there.
no longer an admin of your page, but also I want to have a place
Yeah.
where I send stuff to you. No, I'm not complaining.
Yes.
I don't have to be an admin of anything, but I do want a place where I can
No,
share stuff to you when you're busy.
I appreciate it. It makes me giggle sometimes. 'Cause I'm like, you care so much more about my career than I do at this point. I've been having some problems. I've been kind of slagged down, trying to get the writing out there, but it's like it's not working. I've got these other things going on mentally, and so I haven't been able to really produce something. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to keep advertising the few things that I've done. I want to wait until I have more content out there before I start really going into stuff. And to do that, I need to take the time to actually rewrite half the shit that I have that I've used for like stories here and there, and work on some of the newer stuff that I have. But I haven't done that. And so I'm like, okay, my part of it is my goal is to not advertise myself until I have something new to do, so I can be like, okay, now I've got something, I accomplished something. I will treat myself by saying, hey, I've got this new thing. And if you aren't sure if you want to read the new thing or not, here's my old things. If you read the new thing and you like it, here's a link to my old things. And Jenny is just like, I like your shit. I love your shit. I'm going to post it everywhere. And I'm just like, I love you, but I'm embarrassed.
But I'm proud of everything you've done. That's why I said,
I know.
dude, I know you want to redo this story and make it better later. But right
Yeah.
now, we can get your name out with the story as is, and then you can retouch it up because authors are doing that all the time, taking the story and adding more on it later.
Yeah.
Like the lady who showed me these, Nairi Bakalian, her 2 short stories in the Rogan Wildfire or whatever series by Balance of 7. She took it, both short stories, and then she added to it and made it more of a beautiful, dynamic love story that everybody should not leave, but read. Everybody should read. So yeah, no, you know what? Go search up Dr. Nairi Bakalian and read everything she's written. That is your goal now.
I have about 1,700 other goals first.
Yeah, I know,
when it comes
but
to
I'm
my
telling
reading list. But yes,
but this is
you guys.
I'm gonna advertise you guys. I'm gonna advertise the other authors that I love. It's like everybody has air.
And hey, look at Carrie Sanders, Kari, on Facebook, because I'm putting up a bunch of pics from the different cons I've been at, and I'm going to be going on splash pages and giving like a review of how my con experiences went and the pictures that I got. And the first one, I didn't do as good as I was hoping to do, but I discovered that when I went there, that the con was 4 times the size of the biggest con that I've ever been to, and I was alone, and I had to deal with that. But the good thing about that is that the people who ran the con were very good at having people and having chairs off to the side, lining all of the walls behind, like you go behind the booths and sit, and having areas for people to sit, and having nice, kind people who would be like, hey, they had service dogs on site for people who were having panic attacks to pet and hang out with. They had a service pony, like, well, not pony, but miniature horse, like the thing that's like the size of not even quite a Doberman, little pony. So it was like, okay, I had maybe not the best con experience I've ever had in my life, but they made it better because they were able to take care of all of the people who have issues. I mean, I got adopted by some con families. So I'm going to be telling my story
Oh.
there. I put up some pictures. I got some more stuff to put up. But I want to get back to the tarot cards that we were talking about because I wanted to tell you about the weirdest reading that I ever gave somebody. That came true. And it's a kind of depressing one. And so know ahead of time this does not end well. But
Oh no.
oh, hold on. Let me
The next 3, they're like, "Hey, I'm just gonna fall out and scream at you." The Hermit, the
That's
Wheel
me.
of Fortune, and Justice.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like tomorrow night when we're watching Tomb of the Terrible. I am the Hermit. I will be spinning the wheel of the terrible. And justice will be served to us by watching something that we deserve. I don't know.
Exactly. Will morality turn, show us the lesson that we must learn.
So, okay, so I want to tell you this story. I'm super excited about it, but it's a really kind of sad story at the same time. This is a reason to never take your tarot cards out in public. Okay, because people will want you to give them readings.
Yeah.
And like it's okay sometimes. You know, you can give somebody a reading, and I will totally admit that I have absolutely lied. Yes, I understand. But no, this is it's more sad than dark is the thing. Um I have absolutely lied my ass off because okay, the main thing about a tarot reading is everything that you are shown is based upon if you continue down the exact same path that you are currently going in. If you don't take other factors into effect, you don't open up to these other possibilities, you don't change your mind about something. What do you got there?
The Empress just fell out while I was just shuffling and playing with them.
I believe that is now your indicator.
Yeah.
So, um, I do different kinds of readings, and like you've heard, there are tons of different ways to lay out the cards. And there was a game I used to play, and these work if you have focused and figured out and have your deck working right and you're in tune, you know what's up. I used to play a game called Yes, No, Maybe So. And it was 3 cards, maybe so is one like thing. And I would lay out the cards and somebody would ask a question and I would lay them out. And if it was, and when a trump played, so one of the major arcana laid down, that would be the answer. If it showed up on the first one, it was yes. If it showed up on the second one, it was no. If it showed up on the third, it was maybe. And it would give you an indication of what factors might have to do with something. And if it didn't, then you just kept laying until it did. So you just had 3 piles that you were working with. You had the other person shuffle, or I had the other person shuffle, etc., and have their questions ready ahead of time. And I'd been doing normal readings for people and stuff, and this I'd switched to this when this girl came up to me, and it was somebody that I worked with like 30 years ago. And she was a definite non-believer to the point where she was like, I'm going to absolutely prove that you're wrong, and like ask questions that I totally know the answers to, and I'm going to make you show that you're a fraud. And I'm like, I'm not trying to make you believe me. I'm doing tarot card readings for people who want them, and if you don't believe, you don't worry about it. I don't have to. And she's like, no, I want to do this reading with you. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool, that's fine. And she's sitting with her other friends who were all much nicer, and it's not less sad because she was a bitch, but she was a bitch. But so she started off, and it was somebody that I tended bar with, and I was at the bar. We would always hang out there whether we were working or not. Like everybody was always there. And she was in her last semester at college. And she was like, first question, am I going to graduate at the end of this semester? And it said no. And she's like, well, I already know that's wrong because I'm set to graduate. So, and she went on and started asking some more questions and little insignificant things here and there. And then somebody whose reading I had done earlier, that was one of her friends, who was actually quite nice, had showed that sometime in the future, or in the near future, she was going to become pregnant. And so this other girl asked, like, well, if she's going to be pregnant, am I going to get pregnant sometime soon? And she was with somebody and they hadn't gotten married yet, but they were trying anyway. They were planning on getting married. It was just, sometime in the future, no big deal. And it said yes, that she would get pregnant at the same time as this other girl was going to be pregnant. She's like, so we're going to be pregnant at the same time? Yes. Well, first it was, is it in my future that I will get pregnant? Then will I be pregnant at the same time as this girl? Yes. Will I deliver at the same time as this? It was like, no. And she was like guessing by like the end of the year. And then she's like, will I deliver by the end of the next year? No. And she was like, well, see, it's stupid because it's saying that I'm pregnant and I'm not going to have the baby. And then about 2 weeks later, she asked some other questions and a bunch of other bullshit went on. But the two things that happened were 2 weeks later, she came into work. I was a little disturbed. I was like, so I went to my, like, whatever the counselor at college person is who arranges like your schedules and does everything to get you on track. And she's like, so I'm not going to graduate. I found out that I missed like 4 credit hours and I can't test out of it. I actually have to take one more semester in school. So I am not going to be graduating at the end of this semester. I have to take one more class. It was like, okay. But then she got pregnant. And so then she came in and she started believing in this because she was like, I found out that I didn't graduate. So I'm going to be pregnant. But she was pregnant. And she was like, so I did get pregnant and she's pregnant too. So you were right on both of those accounts. But the other one was stupid. And then she miscarried. And then she came, and she came up to me and like mentioned it. And so sorry, everybody, that is a suck thing that happened. And I'm not trying to be like, ha ha ha, I proved myself with this, because I absolutely did not want anything like that to happen to this girl. We weren't the best of friends, but we were by no means enemies or, mean to each other or anything like that. But she was the kind of person that the way that she coped with it was the day after she learned, like the first day she learned she was upset, the next day she came in, unfortunately, with her to-be husband who also worked there, and was like, I'm not pregnant anymore. I'm drinking. I can drink again. And did that for like weeks and just destroyed her husband. So that's when we kind of became not friends.
Yeah.
But that's the darkest accurate reading that I've ever had for someone. Like, I've had some really, really good accurate readings, but that one with all the very random questions that went into it that should not have happened, that ended up all happening within a number of months of each other. And her then just showing up and being like, she finally, after she was like, okay, I believe you now. Will you do more readings for me? I'm like, fuck no. I am not touching cards around you, because I think you have a close enough connection with the deck somehow that it knew what things are, and I don't want to predict the rest of your life, because she wasn't the kind of person who would understand that if it says something bad is going to happen, you can change the way that you are doing things in order to change the outcome. So maybe if you're pregnant, you don't drink a lot or do things. And I'm sorry. This is a terribly dark road I went down, and I feel bad bringing it up again. But it was,
if you're pregnant, take care of yourself the way that you are supposed to. Find out the things that you are supposed to. With me, I had a whole different set of rules than I thought I would have, because I found out I was in a high risk pregnancy, and if I'd kept working, I would have lost her, and she was so hard to get. And the hard part was she came out with stomach issues and asthma, and that was heck to get under control. And then Soapy was like, "Bam, I'm here." And then Dante was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna take forever." And then I am going to scare everybody in October. And you know what? He scared everybody. We lost him and he came out butt first.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Dante.
they had to help him with breathing after he came out. They were able to make sure he lived, obviously, but dang, he was the scariest of all the babies.
All the babies.
And then, but Soapy scared me afterwards because we found out about her heart issues. So yeah, guys, be careful about the medication you take. Do not take Zofran while you're pregnant. Just don't. I don't care how sick you are. No Zofran.
No.
Take care of yourself the way you're supposed to. Talk to your doctor. Take care of you. That way you can take care of them.
And if you're put on bed rest, you're not a weakling. Your body is having issues and your baby is weak, and you need to go ahead and make sure that that baby is doing okay, because it's not you that's having problems, it's that baby.
And we want to save you and your baby.
Yes.
That
We're not
sucks,
taking any
Kyle.
political stance on anything that goes on as
No.
far as whether or not you should have babies, but if you are trying to, follow all of the rules that you are given.
Yes.
The
Your
other thing
choice is your choice, but please take care of you regardless. We like the fact that you live.
Yes. And for people who are getting tarot readings, keep in mind always that what is going on in the cards is directly influenced by you. What you are doing, what you are thinking of, how you are planning on progressing through life, and exactly the actions that you're taking now. Should something happen and you're like, oh, I'm trying to get this job, am I going to get it? Probably not, like Magic 8 Ball in it or something like that. But, things lead up to that. Change the way that you're living your life, change the way that you send in resumes, change some of the other things, and your outcome will change. When you get a reading, it is not the definitive answer. It is the definitive guideline as to what is most likely to happen if you don't change anything that you're doing. And sometimes that can be good. Like, you're on the right path, man. You are doing it. You are killing it. You're going to make it to the gold. But every now and then you get these like, well, shit, that's going to suck. And you'll get enough hints from the person, depending on how they lay things out, to let you know, like, okay, hey, this is something that's where you're hung up at. You got this thing from the past that you weren't letting go of. Just, and me, I'm somebody who I haven't let things go that happened in elementary school. Okay.
No, seriously.
But you can act like it. You can not react upon it. You can just kind of let some of those things go in your life. At least you don't have to actively rebel against that kid who fucking pulled your hair or whatever, but yeah, but you can change things to make things better in your life. And the reading is there to say, like, hey, here are some suggestions. This is what things are looking like right now. You probably have a better insight than the person who is reading you as to why things are looking like that right now. Like when they're like, there is something coming up that, is meddling with your relationship. It looks like you're working a lot. If you want to get married, she needs you to, or he needs you to spend more time with them. However, something like that, maybe, if you're looking for that kind of reading. And don't just walk in and be like, tell me my future, doc. That doesn't work. We can't just say, oh, this is what's up. No, you have to ask specific questions. And don't spend a lot of money on some. I mean, it's fun if you're at like a carnival or a Ren fair or something like that. Go up, have some fun, give them the money. Hopefully, they actually know what they're doing. But you can find a lot of people, like you'll have friends that you have no idea that do this. And if you just, you just like, oh, you read tarot cards? Could you, a lot of people are willing to, yeah, that dick. I'm still holding a fucking grudge against him, dude. You have no idea. Like, it's deep. There is a lot of hate there. It's actually a high school friend, no longer friend, but like I actively curse him. The only thing I'll just stop with that one right here. We don't talk about it anymore. Okay, yeah. So go ahead and people will do readings for you. And if they look at their book, it's because, like we were talking about before, every different deck has different meanings. And if you expect somebody to memorize, what is it, 144 different meanings, because it's 72 cards, right, in a complete tarot deck, and they have the reverse meanings. And if you expect somebody to memorize all of those specific meanings for each specific deck, you're insane. They're allowed to cheat. It's okay. Most things, it's like, if you get death, we know what death means. If you get the devil, we know what the devil means. If you get the tower, I'm sorry. But, or the Ten of Swords. But a lot of them, like, we need to look up to see what specifically that deck that we're using, because it relates to how we communicate with people. And that's why you choose it's that each deck is how you function as a person and how you can relate to let people go. I'm reading him. Let it go.
Okay.
To let people know how things are going. You take it in like the Ibis deck bonded with me. I love Alice in Wonderland. If you haven't heard me read it, I sing a song about soup that I made up on the spot last year when we did the 24-hour show. No
the
idea.
TikToks everywhere. I put
Oh
it
my
everywhere.
God. Oh my God. But yeah, so I didn't know that there was, I didn't realize that there were many songs in the book. And so I just made them all up on the spot. So there you go. But I love Alice in Wonderland, but the deck never resonated with me. And the Ibis one did. I have a Crow one that I've been waiting for forever because I don't want it to not resonate with me, because I lost my Ibis deck. I have this one deck that, like I said before, it's almost 100 years old. I got it. I inherited it from a much older friend, and I've had it for now like 30 years or so, and he'd had it for a long time before that. I will not read from that deck because it's just an heirloom to me and it's precious to me and I love it. But everybody resonates with their own deck in their own way, and it takes some time to find one. If you want to start, Rider Waite is the generic deck to go with. If you have specific interests, look them up, but check the reviews, because like if you like a specific, like I love Naruto, but I probably wouldn't get a Naruto tarot deck. It would depend on how it was broken up, and I would need to see it and see how it went. I'm into crows. I have a crow deck sitting right over there on my table that I haven't opened yet because I really want to make sure. And there's a bunch of different rituals or things, or just like sleep with it under your pillow or do things to get in touch with it and to connect with your deck. But everybody's going to find their own deck and find their own thing. And hey, go look at your own. Find your own deck. If you want to, you can do whatever layout you want. You can do whatever readings you want. I'm going to pull this up here because I can't see what that is.
For instance, I have a wooden box that has been painted rainbow because children. And I put my tarot decks in it and I put it at the head of my bed and I sleep with it for about 10 days. And then we both come out cleansed and refreshed. If I have to do multiple readings, I will think them after each reading, and then I will cleanse them with the smoke of a particular type of candle that will help with cleansing, or with a particular type of incense that helps with cleansing. But you must find what works best for you.
Yeah.
You can get the wooden box from Hobby Lobby that's where I got mine, but like I said, it has been made it was made pretty for mommy.
Which makes it even better, really.
Yeah. It's
Because
a
it relates
special
more to who
box.
you are and how you relate to things, which includes your tarot deck.
Mhm.
It's all about how your brain functions and how you function with things and how you accept them better into yourself. So, this has been your lesson from
One more thing.
Dell as to how to get a tarot deck.
I just did a reading for a very special person, and they gave me a list of questions, and I ruminated over them with the cards and asked what they need to do next. And it turned out to be, you have lost you. You need to figure out what you want to do, because you need to return to you, because you are letting everything else be more important than you are. And work on letting her confidence come through and everything. And it's sometimes you'll get one that's completely about mental health. Sometimes you'll get one about what is happening next, like in your life. So the readings.
I had a friend that, well, I think he was a boyfriend at the time. I can't remember. There was a friend group and I dated one of them, but we all hung out together. So I can't remember if I was dating him at the time or not. We would all just chill whether I was dating him or not, both before and after and during. And he had some tarot cards and he was laying out something for me, and it was like a 3-card layout. And this was so weird. But he kept getting like the 3-card layout he was doing, and we would shuffle because I was like, you're just trying to make me hang out at your house, dude. He would not let me leave because he kept getting death, which is not bad, by the way. It is change. Sometimes it's not happy change, but it just means change. It doesn't mean somebody's gonna die. But he kept getting death, the devil, and the tower. And he was like, I'm not letting you leave my house until these cards change. And so, like, every 5 minutes, we would shuffle the deck, deal it out. And for like half an hour, I was stuck at his house. I mean, maybe he knew magic tricks and was stacking the deck somehow or something. But it wasn't until it finally changed until he let me actually leave his house. Because he was like, this is fucking weird. It shouldn't keep coming up like this. Like, you can't leave now because you're going to die. And I'm like, I'm not going to die. I'm just going to drive home like 15 miles. I'm good. And he's like, no, you're going to die.
It's like when you shuffle a deck completely and totally, you've been shuffling it and you've cleansed it, and then the same cards keep popping up.
Yeah. But it is easy to stack a tarot deck. That's the thing. I learned magic tricks when I was doing stand-up because I worked with magician stand-up comedians. And they taught me how to do, like, how to stack decks in specific ways. And I was able to give an audience member the cards, have them shuffle them, give them back to me, and do a reading that was like 5 or 6 cards long. That would always be the same reading or whatever I wanted it to be. And it would start off with like, all the cards start. It was basically the story would have like the 2 of Cups, which is the love, and then Lovers would show up, and the Chariot would be like the ride home or something. But it was like something would start off with the Cups, which was this person wants to hook up. You're getting drunk, you hook up. It basically turned into, you're getting drunk, you hook up with this person, you accept a ride home, they spend the night, and the next day, like, everything felt like the tower shows up or something like that. It was a silly thing, but it was like drinking, lovers, Chariot is the ride, and then do stuff. But it was it was a fun bit to do when I was doing stand-up comedy, just because like they could do all the magic tricks, but I had like the one magic trick, but it was with a tarot deck, and I was the creepy goth comedian, so it worked out for me. So it was kind of fun. But I don't stack the decks or do normal readings. And the ones that I did say that I absolutely lied about were things like some random couple at a Perkins out in the middle of nowhere asked me to do a tarot reading on how their custody hearing for their kid versus estate was going to go the next day. And it was not looking good at all. So I didn't so much lie to them as say that, because they were taking it as gospel, whatever I said was what was going to happen. So I changed it to things like, if you don't start owning these things, and if you don't start doing this, if you go bad, things will go great for you if you change this aspect of how you're going. Because they explained the situation to me after I'd done the reading, and I was like, okay, so now I can help you with like how it goes. It's like, it's going to be okay. Because you never want to tell somebody like, yeah, there's no sense in going to court tomorrow, you're going to lose your kid. That's terrible. You don't do that. You feel out the people and make sure that they aren't somebody who you think is bad for the child to begin with, and then explain to them like the better ways they can go about presenting themselves to get their child back in custody and things like that. But so yeah, sometimes we lie. Usually not if it's somebody who can stand it, but if it's a complete stranger, you do what you can to make things better. So yeah, sorry, I just went all over that. I'm just like, all right,
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna talk all
we're
about
everywhere.
this tarot reading. Yeah. So have you ever had any where you've fudged a bit and kind of like let them know in a different way that like you should maybe or is it just me? 'Cause I might be like, well,
I
not just me, but out of the
I
two
know
of
it's
us, is
not
it just
just
me?
you, but I don't normal. I've I don't exactly fudge, but I also know words and how to phrase things. So I try to phrase it in a way of, this has been happening, this needs to happen. And this, it says this, but this is where you need to go. Because
Okay.
usually I end up being the person, it's like, I need you to be I need you to explain the situation to me and how to move forward. And I'm trying my best to give them ideas of where to go next or what they need to do next. And it's not always easy. I try not to fudge, but I also try to phrase it in a way where there's hope.
Right. Okay. See, and do you do it, this is I'm just curious, do you have specific readings that you follow every time, or do you just kind of mix it up, or like
The
I
one
don't,
I
like
just
I was
did
saying,
for
I do a couple
myself, I
different ones,
just
but
did
you
a
do that.
4-card one because they were
I
the ones
how
that
does
screamed.
that one work for your 4 card? Are they like, does each
The,
place represent something, or is it just four
it
cards that all influence what's going on?
the 4-card spread, what's happening. The middle two are where you're going next and what can happen, and the fourth one is the end. It's just I give the the 3-card spread a little bit extra padding in the middle so I have more of a understanding of where I need to go. And the fourth one is always what's going to happen in the future.
Okay,
And
cool.
I do the 3 cards. Sometimes I do the 13 card. See the 13 or 14. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, it's a 10-card spread. The reason it was 13 this last time is because they really had something to say because they had a 3-card spread and then the 10-card spread. You know, the one where it's the 2 in the middle that are stacked on top of each other and the 4 around it, and then the 4 down the side?
I do 3 in the middle and then 4 around and 4 up. It's like, this is you, this covers you, this crosses you, this is your far past, this is your recent past, this is what's going on now, this is your future, this is your, there's fears, hopes, something, and then final outcome. And I forget what they are
Yeah.
off the top of my head right now because I've been drinking a bit of bourbon tonight. But do you remember, it's,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's not necessarily like when it comes to like your fears and your hopes and stuff, it's not necessarily what you are afraid of. It's like what you should be afraid of and what
Mhm.
you should be hoping for are the things that you have to explain to people, because it's like, you know, your conflict or something, like everybody's afraid of conflict, but you should be hoping for conflict. But why would I hope for conflict? Well, because it might help bring about the conversation that needs to happen to explain everything, you know?
Where unfortunately, I have certain people that are just afraid of conflict in general, and it's like, what I want to have is a conversation. I want to know why. I want to know how, and I want to know what you'd like to do to move forward. What you're afraid of is I'm going to hit you like they have before, whereas I just want to know what you think and feel so we can do this thing.
Okay, I remember what the other one was. It was like, these are your hopes, these are your fears, this is what everybody else thinks about it, and this is what's going to happen. Or my 4 up
Yes.
the side. So you have the outsider point of view, which is a weird one to put down,
Yeah.
but you'd be surprised on how goddamn accurate that one shows up to be a lot of the time. And it might not be
Oh,
what
yeah.
their friends are telling them they think about it, but you as an outside player, particularly if you are friends with a person in that group or
Yeah.
something like that, and you're like, oh, yeah, your friends think a lot about this because it's something that you're really concerned about. You wouldn't be asking me about it if it wasn't something that, you know, you aren't asking me like, should I have a tuna salad sandwich today? You're asking me, you know, like, how are things going at my job? How are things going in my relationship? You know, what should I do with this coming up in the future? And so, as it's something you've been dwelling on, your friends have been seeing you dwelling on it, and this is all the opinions that people have going on, and those are all based on what you're giving off to them. So, if people are very concerned about you, it may not mean that they should be, but you are presenting yourself in a way that they are.
And the problem is, she asked me what she needs to do, and I'm like, they are loving what you're doing. They think you're the best one at this particular task in this area. They want you to do the thing continued. But also, on this hand, you still have to go with what you need, what will fix your life better. Because they have been working
Yeah.
hard on making their collective life, because the last card is them in general and theirs and other people's relationship with them, that it can get better, but getting to the point of figuring out what is best at that moment. And it's like, I can't answer whether you should stay or go, but I can tell you what they think and what you think, and that has been the hardest part for her.
And it's all what vibe you're giving off, you know? You gotta, but if you're very worried about something and you're, you have to be willing to accept that what's being shown to you are like possibilities
Mhm.
and ways that you can, because having the hopes and fears, they aren't what you actually hope and, well, not always. Sometimes they are exactly what you hope and fear, you know, but sometimes they are what you should, like I said, hope and fear. And it's like, oh, you should hope for somebody to bring this to a head, or you should be afraid of everything going way too easy because that means you're missing something along the way that's going to pop up and you're going to totally miss it. You know, like, I try not to make people paranoid. I just try to make people as
But
educated as
you have
possible about their
done that
futures and their
today.
choices.
You have done that to me. You have made me so apprehensive now. I wasn't as afraid as I am now at the beginning
I'm
of the reading.
sorry.
And now I'm like,
I didn't
well,
read
damn
you.
it.
You read yourself. You know what your readings mean. These are what my readings mean. And my readings
I
are
know,
different
and
than
it's
your
like, you don't
readings.
want a 10 of swords. And I'm like, Ah,
Oh,
it's the
sorry.
first part. I get 10 of Swords and Death side by side. And I'm like, well, damn.
The death coming right after the Ten of Swords is a good thing, though, because that means like shit is happening, but it's going to change. So it's
Yeah,
like, bam.
I know it's going to
There you
change.
go.
I don't have a choice
So-
about the change. I've been given 2 months to figure out to make the change. I am. If you say stress, yep, it's up there somewhere.
Red Tusker and I would like to offer you some Maker's Mark.
Oh, yeah, please add it to the My Arnold Promer.
I can't.
And yes,
How do
I
I get
haven't.
here? Glug, 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 glug.
Where are
We're
you?
like,
There we go.
there we go. Glug, 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 glug,
Thank
glug,
you.
glug, glug. You're welcome.
And yes, I
Sorry.
have a Hello Kitty cup. I am not.
I
that
got
is
Cullen
anything.
Bun Cup. I got a Cullen Bun Cup, and you don't got one. Because I'm a weirdo. And I hand out tiki cups to people that I love
My
that I don't
goal
know.
by
but-
the beginning of next year is to have a unprinted pages cup.
Okay, you gotta check this out. Okay, you just saw me finish that pour, right?
Yes.
Okay, zoom me real quick, because
As soon as
that
I can find you. There we
Oh.
go.
that was a perfect pour to go right underneath the name. The line is just like straight. I'm so proud of that cup. I have some wine glasses coming in that will be awesome for an opening because we've had Aaron Rablowski on before, and I've grabbed him on a couple different shows. Yeah, and he just finished funding Amor Patrice book 2, so 1 and 2 are now both out, and he is doing the wine glasses that don't have the stem, the stemless glasses that are wine glasses for the book. So I have to go and get a couple of those because those are cool. Like I got a shirt too because it's like, oh, I love the shirt. Got to get the merch. Got to do the thing. And yeah, so I'm getting like the comics and the signatures and then like the shirt and then the stemless wine glasses because I like my wine, but I'm always worried about knocking over. I constantly bump things, but having just like the pick up the nice wine glass and it'll have like Amor Patrice on it. I'm excited.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
I have all these unboxings, but I can't do anything here because I don't have any books. I'm saving the comic books for, well, I'm doing the Kickstarters because I've started doing a Kickstarter segment over on Splash Pages. For you guys that don't know, I'm on Splash Pages, the comic book podcast on Tuesday nights. And I started doing a Kickstarter thing. Well, not just Kickstarter, crowdfunding in general segment where like, if I get something, I open it up on the air and show people. And sometimes it's just the comic, but you get like the special version of the comic that you can only get from the Kickstarter. And you get like a bunch of PDFs and things like that in some cases. And some you get just like a shit ton of stuff. Like seriously, you guys, because people do stretch goals and like, one of the ones that I'm gonna have coming up, I gotta look it up real quick because it's insane. It's not something that I let me zoom through here. I gotta find it. It's silly. Well, that's not silly, but
So a year later, that Kickstarter finally came in that I told you about. And then with it came the order I had of like all of the other series that she had done together. I got that. And in my Kickstarter box, I had everything because she put both orders in my Kickstarter box. And I have the prettiest books.
Well, you know.
She was just like, you know what? Both orders at once. And then we opened it on air.
I gotta see what it was. Okay, it was. God damn it! I can't find it.
I don't know where it is.
Where did it go? What was it? No,
Mars.
here we go. Okay, Witchblade, the complete collection, volume 4. All right. So let me go to the campaign. They were asking for, oh, it doesn't show how much you're asking for. They're asking for like a very small amount, and they ended up getting $156,710 to bring the campaign to life. They opened the stretch goals at 20K, so they're asking for under 20K to begin with. So I bought the hardcover, but they're giving at 20K they're doing a mini print set featuring art by Mark Silvestri and Michael Turner. Then at 30K they were doing a sticker sheet. Then at 40K they added some add-ons on. 50K they added a spot gloss dust jacket for the complete Witchblade that I got. At 60K they added a Szczepan Sejic mini print that was full color. At 70K, they added on another card that you could get. At 80K, they did a volume 2 preview mini print. At 90K, they added foil to some of the things. They just kept adding and adding and adding. You got coins and new covers and extra art and all this shit. And like all of these different issues of it that would come out, and you could get different things. And so I was telling people, I'm like, okay, so if you spend the minimum amount to buy anything that is a physical copy, you get like an extra $100, if not more, worth of shit, you know? And so like I try to do that on both. Like I also I don't promote just the big ones, but when I see something like that, which a lot of people are into Witchblade, you know, you want to say like, hey, if you happen to be into this, you might want to go over and check it out and give them this much and get like a fucking, you know, tractor trailer full of shit for $50 or something. But I also like to support the smaller ones, you know, and some of them come up with like Carissa, who we've had on before, Carissa Grant with Worthy Chaos. She broke Kickstarter. They say that you have unlimited amounts of things, but they never apparently actually tested it, because Carissa had, on one of her most recent ones, she had 41 tiers that you could choose from, depending on if you're doing digital, regular, catch-up, metal copies, those with different animals, because she does stuffies, different collector packs that would have like stickers, magnets, bookmarks, all this stuff. 41 fucking tiers. And then 100 add-ons, and then it made her stop at like 101, I think, was the most she could have. But there was other stuff that she was trying to sell that she couldn't. And so you go over to her, and it's just like, and then she has stretch goals that add those on, and her and a couple others do like, oh, we'll do digital comics of other people's collections that they all get together and they like make friends, and they'll be like, okay, so can I have one of your comics to put onto mine if it reaches the stretch goal? And you can have one of mine that you can put up digitally for free if people reach yours, and they do that trade. I've gotten hundreds of digital comics from doing Kickstarters.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And Stefan, 41 tiers of pledges, and she couldn't keep adding to her add-ons because she had that many. Carissa is a monster, but she successfully funds her projects within like 5 hours. And then everything else is stretch goals, add-ons, and stuff. And she is the sweetest person. If you're missing something, like, she knows I'm into crows, and like my budget depends on how I'm doing and what other things I have going on. So she'll be like, I got this stuffy. I can totally hold on to one for you if you want to buy it and you can't afford it right now. Like, I can do that, you know? And so
That is awesome.
yeah, she's totally willing to work with you on things like that, you know? As long as it's not one of those like, can you make one more extra for me that she has to place a whole order for, something like that. But holy fucking Jesus on a corn stick. Jumping Jesus on a pogo stick. Everybody knows that burrow owls live in the ground. Why do you think they call them burrow owls? Sorry. That moment just had to happen.
Yes, it did. And now everybody has enjoyed the moment.
But yeah, so like that's one of my things is like I love I go to Zoop, I go to BackerKit, I go to all these other things. I've spent so much fucking money that I really shouldn't do at all. Like, I have got to stop. I am one of the tiered spenders on Kickstarter. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like you're fucking awesome. I'm like, okay, thanks. I'm glad that I am, but I'm a super backer. That's what I am. But yeah, I scroll through this and I'm like, I really shouldn't have spent that much money.
Yep.
But I gained so much more than I lost or than I invested. Like everything, like, okay, yeah, I might have a comic book that maybe somebody else can go over and get that for $5 in the comic book store. And I spent like 15 because I ordered it on the Kickstarter thing and I spent the shipping cost as well. But you know what? My comic book was signed. Mine had some extra shit that came with it. And you just bought it from the guy, and you're going to have to go and try to find that person at a con or mail it to them and mail it back, which is going to cost more than what I got to go ahead and just get this signed delivered thing to me. You know,
Exactly.
I got stickers, I got cool shit. I back people, and like once you back people enough, they start sending you special extras that like aren't just it isn't just like, oh, you go in ahead and you beat, you like, yay, thank you for spending a little bit more. But they're like, you have invested in 10 of my projects in a row. I'm going to give you this thing that isn't even there. Oh, Stefan, no, you need to meet Carissa. She is awesome. I don't have time tonight because I'm getting drunk.
Yeah.
As you could probably tell as the show goes on. But I will explain Carissa's thing. It's amazing. Her model, like, started small. It is expanded. It's crazy, but it works. There are other people who do the very small, everything is exacting tiers. And like, I love some of them for when we get out of comic books, when it goes to books, it's like, okay, for everything over here, we pay the authors an extra 9 cents a word for an anthology, for example. Like, I am proud to be somebody that was like, you know what? For this much, somebody else is getting an extra night, Chris Grant, yes, she's Worthy Chaos. Check out the Worthy Chaos stuff on Kickstarter, and just it's insane. I have so much of her stuff. I have stuffies, I have keychains. This necklace is an Anubis from one of her campaigns. This is the wooden one. I have coins, I have collector cards, I have metal cards, I have metal covers, I have pretty much almost every. I have magnets, I have stickers, I have bookmarks, I have embroidered bookmarks. I own, except for like the one singular statue that was made that's like a clay statue, and some of the little mini things that I can't afford to get all of the like toy type of things. But slowly over each campaign, I end up adding something more. I have Anubis, I have Bast, I'm waiting to get the Crow to come out. She like lets me know like this one's coming out pretty soon. I don't know. But yeah,
I can't say anything against that because as of right now, digitally, I have 13,965 books on one app.
Jenny, you need to be reading.
I am reading.
What are you doing sitting here talking to me and the goddamn squirrel?
It's padded sale. We have shows on Sunday. I do not have the energy. I get to have Lucy Luchelli. I am probably pronouncing her name wrong. She's on next Friday. Other than that, I don't have the energy to do what I need to. Yeah, Lily Luchelli. That is the name.
Oh, I love Lily. She's awesome.
You can join me Friday.
What time is it? Well, we can have this afterwards.
9 people, come join me with Lily Luchelli. I suck at names and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but please come join me. We're going to interview her and find out all sorts of things. And she's going to tell us about her Kickstarter as well.
and Lily writes romance, and Lily writes horror, and Lily writes horror romance, and Lily does editing, and Lily pulls her hair out every now and then because she has to deal with what all of us editors have to deal with, only more so. And I love Lily. She
Lily is
is
amazing.
a beautiful, sweet little goth gal who is super intelligent and just amazing. She is so dark and adorable. It's one of those, like, somehow those things go together really well
Oh,
with certain people, and she is one of them.
She is a light. We love her.
Yes.
So yes, come next Friday at the 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we will ask her questions and learn.
I might show up for a bit. This is my thing. I have a 9 o'clock at my time Central family that I belong to. So
Yes.
I have to attend it every Friday night because it's become my weekly family, and I don't mean to blow people off because of it, but I don't want to be like, how many show, but I'd go to be in this other show now. But I do have to be a part of it because mental health
Yes.
is kind of a thing.
Oh yeah. I just
Yeah.
didn't want you to think you weren't invited to come talk to her.
I just feel bad if I have to leave early, but I'm like, I really would love to come on some of your shows. I just like, I'm always gonna have to leave to be on that show. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm ditching you for somebody else now, hun. It's like,
Yeah.
I gotta go have my mental health break, and it's my once a week. Like, I watch somebody who just gives me the Zen moments of life, and oh wow, I knocked off my bottle and I didn't spill. Oh, that's because it's empty. Well, damn.
That's saddening.
Oh, it's the soda, so I can go get another one. But
Oh yeah. That's good.
yeah.
I'm out of soda. But I have Arnold Palmer's.
I know I have Squirt left. I was gonna bring in, I had a case of Coke, or a 12-pack of Coke Zero in Mom's truck, SUV car, whatever the fuck you call them. And I was gonna carry it in, but the bottom had fallen out. So like if I
Oh
picked it up, it was
no.
gonna roll out. And she was like, I'll just unload that in my garage and you can just have it when you're at my house. I'll take a couple I'll keep it in the garage. And then if it's cold enough, I can just go out there and grab one. And if not, I'll just take a couple into her house and stick them in the fridge when I'm staying there. But I don't know how the box fell apart. It just did.
I have no idea. I don't understand things and how stuff happens sometimes. It's weird. Life is weird.
Life is weird. And I have a squirrel that is becoming more of a celebrity. They're like, oh, you're the girl with the squirrel. I know about the
Oh,
squirrel.
there's a thing I needed to tell you. We fixed the problem with KDP and Amazon and Face Speaks. So now people will be able to get your story in Face Speaks physically through Amazon if they wish. That is no longer a problem.
I did not know it was a problem.
Oh, yeah. I figured since you're in it, I should probably let you know we've been able to fix the problem.
Okay. Oh, wait. Now, okay. Yeah. Okay. Tracing it back. I thought you meant that there was a specific problem with my story, and I was going to be
Not
like,
your story. There was a specific problem with KDP and many authors' books, but you are a part of this particular anthology. So I needed to let you know since you're here and I was thinking about it that you will be able to get it. But you can, and my kid is so happy she's in a book with you.
Well, if you would like to read a short story based on Clockwork Rabbit erotica that has absolutely no spice in it whatsoever, it's very much fade to black when it comes to anything very naughty. It was a story inspired by when I was on Right, the server and a Discord server, and I'm still kind of a member there. I just haven't contributed for like 2 years or something like that. But we had this ongoing challenge on who could come up with the most insane like category of literature to write. And so Clockwork Rabbit erotica was a ongoing joke for a while. And so I wrote just a little flash fiction about it, and it's there, and it's not the best thing I've written, but it's kind of funny. It's
fun.
But it's funny bunnies
Oh yeah.
being,
No, the
but
12-year-old has not read it, just so everybody knows, but she did contribute 16 pieces of art to the newsletter, so she's in it, as well as Dell and I and Mariah and Raz and a whole bunch of other people. So, yeah, please go check it out because her story's fun. I really enjoyed her stories. Hope you enjoy my stories and see my kids' art. I'm very proud of her.
yes. I think on that note, I need to run to the bathroom, and we've been on for 3 hours. So
Yeah, literally 3 hours. We could always end it here.
I think we should end it here because that needs to happen. 'Cause I need to
Okay,
use
if
the
you
bathroom.
guys don't know where to find us, search our names and see what happens. Either way, good night, everybody. We love you, Stefan. We love you, Pyle.
Yes. And John and everybody
Bye.
else who joined us, good night.
Good night, everybody.
Are you hitting it or am I?
I'm hitting it. I'm in the
Okay.
process